right.
Oh, I was gonna say so.
Sorry.
Not like he listens anyway.
Oh, damn.
I know, right? Well, he doesn't. He didn't listen when he was on the show.
Well, Bill Gates is a busy man. He can't always be listening to our show.
It's true.
Oh, yeah, right. Magic's a serious business.
I mean, I guess it kind of is.
I mean, you can actually make money at it, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now that we've stopped and thought about what we said,
Right.
I don't still think it is. Not for him.
that sentiment is basically the story of my life on multiple occasions. It's like, well, now that I think about what I've uttered, I realize how that could be horribly offensive.
Yes. Well, actually, no.
Yes, but actually, no.
Right. All right. Do you want to count us down to the show, Adam?
Do I want to?
Sure.
No, I do not. That's not my job. That's your job. Are we live already?
Yeah, we've been
getting
live for
some
like the
echo off
last
you,
2
Adam.
minutes. Yeah, you should turn down whatever you got.
Wait, who's Rob?
How
Huh?
about now?
Someone in the chat said, "Go Rob."
You sure it's not Rob? Go Rob.
You talking about the TFG Twitch chat?
Yeah, because I'm on there right now.
I don't see anything on Twitch on my end. Like, I don't even see our show as being live.
Yeah, I don't
You
even.
know what I might be? I might be in a recorded video.
I mean, I see it as live, but I don't see it listed on Twitch.
No, I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
there
I
it
don't know
is.
how to use Twitch.
Okay, I see it now.
He was on somebody else's Twitch.
Perfect.
Guys, when did we change our name to Ninja? I don't get it.
He's on the
Ginger Ninja.
Fog of War
Damn it, Tom.
podcast.
Is that the other one that has Adam and John?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Those guys.
TFG Radio, the original show with the
Adam
Adam
and
and
John.
John host.
It'd be funny if it's a white guy and a Mexican, but I think they're from the South, so I'm probably not.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I feel like there's
That's what they
multiple sitcoms that have breached this topic of like the dual doppelganger.
Yes, it's true.
Well, we had that in the past with me and Travis and Life After the Covers Day.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Why?
Yeah.
The
Different
doppelganger.
names, but, you know,
similar.
Similar
big, tall,
builds.
big, tall white guy with a bushy beard and a
Oh,
smaller.
yeah. Yeah, that's no, what's that guy's name?
It's Blake.
Blake. That's right, Blake. Yeah,
Blake and Ed.
yeah, Blake and Ed. Similar, but not
sounds
quite
like-
the same.
Sounds like the name of like morning talk show hosts. Like it was like
Axis of Entropy is
Blake in
telling
the
us.
morning.
Axis of Entropy is telling us not to read the news, and now I need to go check my Facebook feed.
Oh God! Wait, that's your version of news?
Well, I mean, that's all I can check right now.
The reticent bias is real. Don't do this thing. I have to go do it
I
immediately.
must go do this now.
It's just like the don't push the big red button or don't look at that. Don't touch
Well,
that.
But in this case, it's kind of self-destructive because I could just type news into Google and I could get anything.
Yeah, you could get a Flat Earth Society.
Yeah.
GMOs are bad. Don't vaccinate your kids. All kinds of crazy stuff. All right.
My God.
I'll go ahead and count us in, Adam, so you can do your thing.
Okay, I gotta hurry up and finish my email I'm sending to these recruiters because I want to get my kids into this nice college.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget the photoshopped images.
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. You're up.
Hey everybody, Adam here for TFG Radio. Today we have a full house. We are joined by John, as normal, Wheels of Steel, Danny, and Tom.
Hey.
Been gone for a while.
Hello.
And who will be gone for a while even longer in a few weeks.
It's true.
Yes.
And not because not by choice, sort of.
He's not going to the jail. He's not going to jail. He did not pay anybody exorbitant amounts of money to get them into college.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume.
I did not.
I assume.
I
he
did
does.
not have textual relations with that server.
Nice.
He'll do that in about 18 years. 16, 17 years.
HK Fui wants to know where his haiku prize is.
I don't know, in the mail, just like the check.
What?
John, you're gonna block this guy and ban him, right?
No, I'm not going to do that. Adam's in charge of getting him his prize. That's all. I even put it onto Adam's screen for this so he can talk about it.
I'll have it out. I'll have it out by Monday.
Okay.
So
you should have just taken them to LVO and given them to LVO people who were there.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Gave it to, I think it is.
How could you, Adam? You're supposed to be the professional one here.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Out of all of us, yes. I'm the most professional out of all of you. Yes.
Whoa.
Well, yes, but actually, no.
I don't agree to any of that. Not at all.
I don't agree either.
Did you not see all my Facebook responses in the last 2 days? I am super professional.
Yes,
totally.
clearly.
So we'll start off since a few of us, well, a couple of us have played in tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap.
So we'll start with Tom because he is played in the oldest one about 2 weeks ago.
And the bigger one.
And the bigger one was GT.
So you played at the Dice Hammer.
Yes, I did. And prior to that, I actually played in 2 RTTs in the weekend before, which was a lot of 40K for 2 weeks. It was a lot.
Well, you got to stock up.
I know, right?
You do.
Exactly. Get it while you can.
Briefly, I got second place in the first RTT. It was at Gameology. The second RTT was at Dave Cutt's Gamers Haven, and I got 4th.
That's pretty good there.
Yeah, no, that one was a very competitive showing. I got my butt handed to me by Ray Amata.
Ray's in the chat too, so I'm sure he'll tell us all about it in the chat.
Sorry, I had to dwell on that for a second. All right, so yeah, I went to Dice Hammer. I ended up going 3-2, which is not as good as the record I set for myself, which is 4-2. But that was impossible pipe dream anyway, considering there's only 5 games.
Correct. Setting yourself up for failure. Well done.
Which I did not realize until on the drive there to day 2. I'll fully admit that.
Oh wait, there's only 2 rounds today. Shit.
Oh my god.
So first game I played Benjamin Nichols, who was playing. I think he's part of Rage Quit Table Flip because he was wearing one of the shirts.
Yeah, I think he is
right.
too. I'm pretty sure he is.
He was running Mono Dark Eldar. I think he had 3 battalions. Homunculi. I can't be bothered to look at his list. I'm not gonna go through that much detail. He basically had a lot of Dark Eldar. He was running no flyers, but a lot of grotesques. And items of that sort, a lot of foot soldiers and ravagers. And the problem with his list against mine is that I have a lot of Custodes jet bikes, which make his grotesques bad. Okay. And then I had a Crass Crusader Knight, who that was his first real game, based, painted everything, and oh boy, he popped a ravager or a dark whatever the other one was called, a turn, a turn of vehicle die, starting from full health to none.
Yeah, that thing's crazy with the you gave it the thing where it gets extra 2 damage or 1 damage depending.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was just my stubber just did 6 damage to you.
Yep. Extra damage is crazy.
Oh, it was so good. So I ended up taking that game 37-15. So it was a high win. He's a really cool guy. We ended up chatting for a while, drank a beer and everything. Round 2, I played against John Starks, and he was also running a Dark Eldar list, but he had an Altaiok flyer list in addition to a couple Dark Eldar bombers. And oh boy, that was a tough game. I completely underestimated his Talos paint engines, who made mincemeat of my list, and in the end, I made a big mistake in the middle, and that's the thing. Whenever people talk about Custodes, and it's like, oh man, you just want to play a game where all you have to do is roll 2s. Well, yeah, of course I love that part. What I don't love is when I lose because I made a huge mistake, and I was like, oh, this is completely my fault. There's no forgiveness,
regardless of the army you're playing.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, and we're talking about specific to me. No, but in all honesty, Custodes, if you're playing majority Custodes, you make a mistake, and that can be the game.
Right. Well, you only have 5 models or so.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, because Trajan's 600 points, Shieldback Captain is another 600 points, and then Gilliman, and that's it. No, I'm just kidding. So I lost that one pretty hard, 30-14. And then the next game I played was against Daniel Ye. I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Maybe.
No, yeah, I think
And
that's how you pronounce
I
that.
think that is the correct pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, he was running Space Wolves with a bunch of characters, some intercessors.
Space Wolves, you say?
Yes.
But what else did he have?
He had a Falchion, which for those of you who don't know,
Which is like everybody.
is a 2-up armor, 9 toughness, 28 wound, super heavy Space Marine Forge World tank of what the hell is this bull crap? And it has
Go look at this up.
It has like 8 last cannon shots.
Is that Primaris like hovered Forge World?
No.
No, someone actually was running that.
Atreus or something like that.
Yeah, someone was running that somewhere on a table. I never ended up playing that person, but oh my god,
like basically 2 volcano cannons, like the Shadow
that are
Sword.
both but they're better volcano cannons than the Castellan has.
Oh yeah,
So
well
let
the Shadow
that
Sword
sink in.
volcano cannon's better also.
Yeah, I think it's the same one as the that one. As the Shadow Sword one. That word.
That one?
It's like that word that you said. That word.
Someone had
Use
a
that
long day
word.
at work today.
Apparently.
Relatively.
But it also has 8 las cannons.
It also has 8 last cannons. So against him, I was like, you know what? I'm switching up the Warlord trait on the Crusader. I kept the same relic,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave him the Ion Invul, which did keep him alive an extra turn. So it was worth the switch. That said, I went first, advanced with all the bikes, just 20 inches, trying to get across the board because it was a long deployment edge. And there were like 2 buildings in the way. So I was like, I got to cover as much ground as possible. So I throw my knight as forward as possible, make it the big, threatening, scary target that his Falchion will shoot at. And then the knight unloads everything it has at the tank, just everything, and it does 4 wounds.
Yep.
Nice.
Even with the relic, it was fantastic. His turn, he shoots the knight down to I think 6 wounds left, and I was like, sweet, it's still alive. Gonna soul burst this guy with the Mechanicum stratagem that makes him full ballistic skill, everything. I gotta do this. Yeah, the Custodes bikes are in charge range. Crass Knight does nothing. Does absolutely nothing because he's also now -2 to hit because of 2 different Space Marine spells or something.
Oh yeah, those Space Wolves have one. And I think the Dark Angels have. There's another one that's like -1 to hit.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a time in early mid 8th where you took 3 different librarians from 3 different chapters, and they gave you a bunch of spells, and one of them was to be able to stack the -1.
Yeah, it might have, and actually now that I think about it, I think it was actually minus. I didn't actually end up being able to pop the Mechanicum stratagem, so I didn't have that. I think I was -1 to hit already, and then I was another -1 because of the spell. So I was hitting him on 5s or 6s, did nothing. The Custodes bikes make it into combat. 2 squads make it into combat with everything. And the one squad brings the Falchion down to 4 wounds, which made me the very saddest of all pandas.
Darth Jew says, just wait for the Vanguard Librarians to make it -3.
Well, hey,
It'll be just like Eldar.
well, here, I'm probably running one of those Vanguard Librarians, so that's cool. I'm fine with that.
Get mine on
Can't be mad at
Saturday.
Jank if I use Jank too. Oh, me too. I'm going to be there store open.
You better not take my copy.
Yeah.
No, I've got my own copy. Splitting it with Carson. He's taking the Chaos bits.
Oh yeah. I'm splitting 2 copies with 2 different people.
Nice.
Oh, damn, son.
Okay, High Roller. Why don't you just go rub it in everybody's face over there, all right?
Yeah,
Damn.
some of
I'm
us have to
splitting
wait for the
0
individual
copies with
sets.
0 people and ordering nothing.
F's in the chat. Sad reaction.
Set reacts only.
So yeah, it was bad. Then he swung back. I think he interrupted, killed 2 bikes, and then all of his Space Wolf characters hit me on 2s. They all had Thunder Hammers, so they were hitting me on 3, like still insane because they're 2 ballistic skill or weapon skill -1 because of the hammers, then +1 again because they're Space Wolves, and I charged them. And he kills a whole squad of bikes. I don't think I made a single save. And these are like 3 damage, Thunder Hammers, not the 4 damage Blood Angel type. So it's like I'm like, oh, okay, I can take 2 hits and lose it back. No, I just lose all of them. Then from there it just kind of petered out. He kept healing his Falchion. I just couldn't do anything, and I was just like, it was a frustrating loss, but it is what it is. Then game 4, so this is day 2. I played against who did I play against? Kenny Boucher, and he was running a Demon Prince spam army. I go first, kill all of his Nurglings basically except one. He comes in with the Demon Princes, gets one into combat, makes it the mini Mortarion where you throw a bunch of spells on it, and it's kind of like a mini Mortarion in its own way.
Okay.
And he brings the Crass Knight down to 6 wounds. My turn, back up, shoot everything, and kill it. A bike squad comes in, and one of the bike squads comes in and charges 2 Demon Princes, kills one, and brings the other one down to 1 wound. And he's got like 5 more right there. And I'm like, oh, snap. I think I made the same mistake against John Starks. I overextended one of my bike squads. I'm about to lose a bike squad. His turn, he charges in with 5 Demon Princes, and he's got the one in there with 1 wound left. And he ends up getting all of those Demon Princes against 2 different squad bikes. But he's got the majority of them on 1 squad. The majority that were on 1 squad took out a bike. One bike.
Wow.
He rolled 2. They were running on 3s.
Oh.
And I saw a lot of 2s.
So you actually saw 2s?
Oh my god.
Ooh.
So many 2s.
Okay. Just asking.
Yeah.
You didn't get those off eBay. Don't worry.
I'm just asking if there were a lot of 2s.
There were a lot of 2s. And then against the other one, I only lost like half a bike. I turn around, just straight up kill the rest of his Demon Princes and call it a day. It was pretty.
So his armor was hinged on the Demon Princes.
It pretty much was. He ran it at. He was telling me, and it was beautifully painted. It was all commission work from other artists. He ran it at LVO, and he did pretty well with it. Like I think he said 4-2, or maybe even 5-1. I don't know. But he knew that with the shifting meta, he said it wasn't going to last. And he said, like, "Yep, playing against you." He's like, "I'm going to change up what I'm doing now." And I'm like, "All right, well, I'm glad I'm the catalyst for that, I guess." But he was a really cool guy. We had a good game. And then game 5, I played against someone who had never met before. His name was Tyler Amoy. He actually lives in Temecula.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's part of the game group down there.
I'm sure Ray knows
he's
who
a
he
really
is.
cool guy. Yeah, I'm sure he does. He's a real cool guy. He was also running Custodes. However, he was running only 2 sets of bikes in smaller numbers than me. And he was running a Telemon Dreadnought and 2 Achilles.
Okay.
So I finally got to see the models I wanted to play, like actually use, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Telemon is a freaking beast. If you actually run it, I'd recommend running it with a Power Fist because it does better than the mini fake glass cannon it has. And the fists just crunch people in combat. And the Achilles are awesome and they hit hard, but I don't think they do enough attacks, and I don't think they're survivable enough to justify their points. But it was a really tight game. It was like the first 2 turns, like nothing happened, nobody died. And then turn 3, it was everything died. Everything was just like erupting and exploding, and models were disappearing at like an insane rate. And like it was and our dice were all over the place. Like I'd have like a terrible set of dice, and then he'd have an amazing set of dice, and then I'd have an amazing set, and he'd have and so like it wasn't even dice luck because it was just such a swing game. It was like literally a nail biter, like to the very end. Like it was one of like those games where you're like, damn, it didn't matter how this played out. This is a great game. So I ended up taking that one 27-25. So barely taking it. And it came down to a single dice roll. My shield captain was in combat against his Telemon. We're both on 3 wounds left. And so I have to hit him at least twice to kill him. He has to hit me only once. I fail a 3-up invul save, reroll Victor of the Blood Game, save it. Then I attack him with 5 attacks, hit him 4 times, wound him 3 times. He fails 2, and he can't reroll one of them because, he doesn't have the CP anymore. And so I ended up taking him. And he doesn't blow up, so he doesn't kill me. And that shifted the game 3 points in my favor. That one single save of Victor of the Blood Games. Because I think I would have won even if I hadn't killed him, but I would have won by 1 point instead of 2. But he would have won by 2 points had he killed me. Okay. So it was pretty intense. Overall, it was a great tournament. There was a ton of really good players there. Like, I think if you ever go to Dice Hammer, it is probably the most competitive GT I can think of at the moment.
You mean most competitive is small?
Small, yeah, small. I mean, we're not talking. I mean, now con tournaments, those are different stories.
But the level of player at that tournament is high. It's like going to Hammer of Wrath. It's a super high level of play.
Oh my god, yeah, super.
Yeah.
No, but it was a lot of fun. It was really great. And I know that I think they're planning on running the second one in October. So I think they have a 2 a year. I think is what they're doing.
If you look at their website,
not October, September.
If you look at their website, they have a lot of stuff going on. They have like a mini convention. They want to do a team tournament. They're very ambitious, but I don't know what they're actually going to do because it doesn't look like anything set in stone yet.
The one thing that I think that they're really trying to go for in terms of reputation is prize support. Their prize support was really good. One Spoon got the Assassin Force.
Okay.
Straight Assassin Force. I was like, damn, I would totally have failed. I would have gone for the lowest losses possible. And like each of the top 3 ended up getting a display case of varying sizes. And we're talking like those or like the carrying case, and it was like the steel and the glass. It was like really good stuff.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and then the painting prizes were really good too. But yeah, no, their prize support's great. So yeah, no, if you ever have a chance, check them out for sure. They do sell at Fest, for sure.
Yeah, I was planning to go, but I forgot.
It's okay. We know that you are filled with high-minded thoughts that you have to constantly.
They apparently turned away people at the door, so it's probably a good thing you didn't try to show up. I was going to attempt to try.
Nobody canceled.
Yeah, I was going to attempt to show up too, and I was like, well, his baseball schedule ended up being that day. Then it ended up raining that day. And so I was like, man, I could have gotten in my car and go down there. And then Tom messaged the chat, and you're like, yeah, they turned away people. I was like, okay, I'm glad I didn't go because I'd have been pissed.
I'd
have been so salty.
You are though, John.
That doesn't matter. I'm not going to play that card. I'm not some rich person trying to get my kids into USC.
Not yet.
No.
Or UCLA or Stanford.
Tom, what about that statement is ever going to happen? I'm never going to be some rich guy trying to get my kid into USC. I might be some
you're right.
middle class poor teacher trying to get some kid into college.
UCLA. Could be UCLA.
In which case, I'm still never going to have the bankroll to pay somebody to get him in. Come on.
You're a California resident. You get better
let's be real.
Rates or no?
For UCLA?
It's cheaper if you're local. Out of state,
but it's not that much cheaper. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's
not like the UCs are cheap anymore.
No, this is not the 1970s. This is post-federal free money, balloon your prices into the sky, 1990s.
Escape from LA.
Yeah. That would be preferable to paying for college.
Snake.
So do you foresee yourself going... Well, you've been playing the Custodes for how long now?
Well, I've been playing them technically since December, but seriously probably since February.
How do you like it so far?
I really do like them. The thing about Custodes is that if you're gonna not run bikes, which I plan on doing soon, maybe, you have to be really freaking good.
Okay, so why are you not running? Why are you gonna not run bikes then?
Because it's a challenge, and it doesn't mean I'm not gonna run I'm not gonna run primary bikes. Like I'll have a big bike squad, but then I'll fill out the rest of the points with other stuff.
You should have like a benchmark before you can do that. Something simple and easy.
Well,
like,
I mean, I'm currently number 3 in ITC.
Well, I mean, no, that doesn't count because it's early season.
Dang it.
But I mean something.
I think
that's
it counts, Tom. I'll give it to you.
I think something easily achievable, like I don't know, like beating a Grey Knight army or something. If you could do that, then you can go to just guys no bikes.
Oh damn! Shots fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
saying.
cool.
I don't remember if you ever played against one yet. We don't see that army a lot.
No.
Although I did see one on Saturday. So
you know the rule where you build and you paint an army and it's all pretty and sweet and nice, and the first game you play with it shits the bed.
I don't know that rule.
I don't know that rule now.
Well, you don't know that rule, John, because you sold your soul to get good dice rolls or something. Adam doesn't know that rule because he never paints the stuff to look nice pretty.
That's true. Adam's stuff is painted, but it does not look good. So
nope.
So he doesn't care. Plus, he microwaves something like what you I don't know what you butter.
Zero butter? Charisma says he lost to that Grey Knight army.
Wait, were you at Gameology? Was that?
No, we all just know. It's already spread through the internet, Tom. Everyone
God.
knows.
Yeah. It's like the what is it? It's like when talking about when JFK died. It's like, where were you when you lost that game? God, I was just in the store. I didn't even know it was happening.
Oh man.
Nice. So, but no, seriously. So you're thinking of going no bikes?
Well, not no bikes, but like less bikes, because the idea is like not as many. But that's such a hard thing to do. I mean, like wardens are fantastic, but getting them across the board or where they need to be is kind of crappy.
But why not just bring a Land Raider?
Well, because the Land Raider's terrible. If you're going to actually bring a transport for them, it's cheaper and more effective to bring the Calidus Graph Tank.
But didn't that Grey Knight player have a Land Raider?
No, he had 6 Razorbacks.
Oh, okay.
No. Of 6 Razorbacks, by the way, the Crass Crusader unloads and brings 1 down to 1 wound. That's when I was like, okay, this game's not going well. And then, I kill his like, what was it, the infantry unit for Grey Knights. I murder those easily, and then I that's a great meme. I charge with the bikes into his Grey Knight characters, and I half kill 1, even with rerolling hits and wounds. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh well, I've got my 2-up armor, and then there's a bike squad and it's dead. And then that was the rip game.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, it was terrifying.
But you have a baby coming soon, so you'll be out of the loop for a little while.
Yeah, which means that the next time I lose to Grey Knights, it'll be more legit.
Because they'll have a new codex by then? Because it'll be that long? Or
I thought you didn't do rumors, Alan or Adam.
Wow.
Hey, you started this pain train.
I never said a Grey Knights codex, so I don't know what you're talking about. Grey Knights have never. Oh my god! I forgot you have a memory like my wife. None.
Who are you again?
Yeah.
Hey.
Where am I?
Who are you?
Is this hell?
So Danny.
Yes.
Got to play in a tournament this past weekend.
Yeah, I know. Shocking. All 3 rounds too.
Hey, don't be like that. Don't be like that.
And you even played which we'll talk about later. You even got to play a league game.
Yeah, as part of my tournament. It was great.
Actually, there were a number of I think there was like 2 or 3 games that day that were
many league games were had that day.
What's funny is I actually at the tournament I only played team members. There was like 24 people, 23 people, and I only played Wrecked.
Nice.
I didn't play anyone not on our team.
How fun.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. So that was nice.
How many people were at the
only one of
tournament
them
total?
I could do for a league. I think 24, 23, 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's our team was probably a large number of those, right?
Not that many. I mean, I didn't play. There were 3. There were like 6 of us there. I think 7 of us. So that's a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. So my first game, I played a almost literal mirror match with Tim Schneider, who
he was playing Nids.
He was playing Nids GSC just like I was. So my list is Swarm Lord, Malithrope, 40 Gene Stealers, Rippers, and Max Hive Guard, and then a GSC battalion of 3 squads of 10 Brood Brothers for Chumpage, a Sanctus, so that's the guy with the sniper rifle, a Keller Morph, Primus, Patriarch, Magus, using the Anointed Throng, and then a full squad of Aberrants, all with picks, and then 2 stop signs.
Wow.
So it's meant to be a very fast, first turn Gene Stealers get up on you immediately. And then, second turn, my GSD starts dropping in. And then hopefully, if things are going well, I don't need to bring my Aberrants into the third turn to be kind of like the death blow. And Tim's list was, our Tyrannid Parshan was almost identical, except he didn't take Hive Guard. And then for his GSC, he didn't take Aberrants, he took Acolytes instead, and the bikes, the Atlan Jackals or whatever.
Was he trying the Deep Strike Flamer trick?
No, he was going pure assault, like with the rock saws and stuff, which
dang.
it makes them a lot more threatening because the flamers are certainly good and scary, and they would mess up my gene stealers, but that's not the same level of like threat of basically the acolytes can kill anything they hit, including knights. So, and the flamer guys are not going to kill knights. So that was interesting, and it was a really tight game. He got first turn, so he mulches one squad of my Brood Brothers and cripples one of my Gene Stealer squads. I come in, eat one of his Gene Stealer squads, start wrapping up the other that was doing damage, and it was pretty much a back and forth game where in one turn he did big damage, and then in another turn I would do big damage, just constantly back and forth. And what really honestly kept me going was that I managed. We basically switched sides, like deployment sides, by the end of the game.
Nice.
He took my side, I took his, and my Keller Morph murdered 2 squads and 2 characters since it popped down, and held an objective for me and got me the bonus for 2 turns. My Primus dropped in and murdered a squad and took his backfield objective.
CW Dub wants to know if it's 40 Gene Stealers 2x20.
Yeah, 2x20.
Cool.
Yeah, I have 2 rockets, and it was just really close. And really, what was the end is his list had more sheer kill than mine, but my aberrants really, they popped in, they ate his Swarm Lord and part of an Acolyte squad. He brings in his last Acolyte squad and the survivors into the aberrants, but I pop I swing when I die because I take the Anointed Throng. And he doesn't kill all of my aberrants. He left like 3 alive, but they murdered pretty much everything that touched them. And so that got rid of the Acolyte threats. And then he just had a crap ton of characters. And they killed a couple. But really, it's just by the end, I was in the better position to keep scoring at the end of the game, because he had really pushed in and taken my side of the board and wiped me out of my side. But he didn't really do anything to control the center or his side. So I took the center and his side. And so we ended up, he was winning in the beginning, but we ended up tying 28-28. Which was really funny for again, being mostly a mirror match. And it was probably, I think we both agreed, it was probably the best game I've ever played of 8. That was really fun. It was back and forth. It was just really cool.
I personally, on a quick note, I remember you saying, I think you said something depressing like, well, here I go to go 0-3 at turn. And I remember checking the score, and I saw you tied, and I did the beard nod gif guy in my head. I was like,
yeah. Yeah, no. The thing is, going into that game or going into the tournament, that was only my 3rd game of the year, and I had not yet, and only my 3rd game with that list, and I had lost my previous 2 games, so I'd yet to win with the list. So I was a little like, well, this is probably not. I'm, really, I think the list is actually pretty good. It's just I'm too rusty to really, because it seems like it's hyper aggressive, and it is for the first turn, maybe 2, but then it really has to go into KG playing very defensively, scoring points when you can, denying points, et cetera, et cetera. And I wasn't playing it that way. Because again, just rusty, and that kind of list takes a lot more thought than I think I was capable of giving.
There's a question in the chat, Danny. Yeah. He wants to know if you're going to go Kraken / company FAE. What is that? COFAE? It's an acronym.
COFE. I don't know.
It's got to be something G-Store, right?
Is that a?
Oh, that's the Four-Armed Emperor one.
Oh, okay.
Four-Armed Emperor, yeah.
Call the Four-Armed Emperor. Okay, thank you, CWW.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go Kraken's Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, would you recommend double or triple battalion? Is what he's asking.
If they're super CP hungry, GSC is like ungodly CP hungry. So if you can get 3 battalions, that's the best thing to do. You want as many CPs as possible, because GSC are so glass cannony that if you don't get your tricks off and you don't get to do what you want, execute your game plan, you're going to start falling apart real quick. The aberrants can kind of take a punch, but even then, it's not like they're not Death Guard. They're not going to sit there and just tank everything. right? So you've really, if you can get the CPs, get the CPs. That can be hard depending on what you're doing with the Kraken rocket side, because minimum the Kraken rocket's like 730 points. So like that's
So a
already
lot of
eating up a
points.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's worth it because you have taking the Kraken, the double Gene Stealer, Swarm Lord, Malathrop, Ripper Swarm gives you 3 units of major threat, a lot of board control, and just a huge burst of speed.
And
right?
you can
Like,
throw
where,
them
again,
forward
it's really
and use the
easy
fight
to-
against strat and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, which I do all the time.
Right.
I think in almost every one of my games I pop that.
Now, when you use the
On the
fight
turn-
against
on first
strat,
turn.
does your opponent get to fight?
Unfortunately, yes. But we can agree to disagree, John.
No,
Oh, wait, no, we can't because there's
cannot.
rules.
Yes, but actually, no. I want to see how many times I can fit that in.
I want to try saying that to like a cop when they're like, "Sir, you can't. You have to put pants on." Look, man, we have to agree to disagree on this.
You're not light skinned enough. Get that to
Yeah,
work.
that's true. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I could do that.
Before or after you show them your ID with your last name? That's the question.
Yeah, that's usually what makes it go. It just depends if I'm in work clothes or not. If I'm in work clothes, I'm usually pretty good.
That's
I'm
probably
okay.
true, yeah.
I'm safe.
Got that tie, the vest. Looking all fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he does have a fancy
The,
clothes for work.
fancy man with the fancy pants.
No, we,
I
we,
actually
we
wear Dickies
agree,
sometimes.
Fear the Ripper, that GW could be more clear with their rules. We just like making jokes.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
just joking around. Yeah. So that was a really fun game, and like I said, I was just probably the best game, most enjoyable game of 8th edition I played so far. It was just really back and forth. It never felt overwhelming for either of us, right? Like where it's like this isn't going to happen, and our plays mattered down to, again, he really, the thing that cost him the game was he got greedy to try and kill a unit when he already had it in the last turn, and killed something really inconsequential, but he moved just enough to where my Keller Morph could move through a building's wall and gun down his Magus and get me my last Kingslayer point and kill a unit that turn. Right?
You
which
hear
is
that,
what I did.
Tim? Danny thinks you're a greedy piece of crap. Come at him, bro.
Jeff says
He
he
knows
thought
that.
that you liked playing against his Eldar.
I do.
Yeah.
I learn the most when I play against Jeff Seldar. That's how I know a list is good or not.
You learn a
if it
lot
can
playing
even
against
in
Jeff,
any way
period.
manage.
Because Jeff always
Yeah.
attacks everything from very tactical angles. So you always
he
learn
does.
something new when you play a game with Jeff.
Yeah, well, I enjoy playing.
Whether
people
you
better
like
than
it
me.
or not.
Yeah, and you're usually on the losing end of learning that lesson.
Yeah, well, failure teaches you more than victory.
It's true. I tell my kid that all the time when I don't let him win at chess.
Yep.
Ooh, awesome.
Take
That's
notes. Take
that's
notes,
good
Tom.
parenting, Tom. Take
Oh,
a note.
Oh, I'm not gonna let them win if they don't
Not
earn
giving
it.
out a bunch of participation trophies over here,
I'm gonna give a bunch out at our at the tournament in April
Well, you know what? I won't be there, so that's your decision to deal with.
if I get them in time.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's a caveat.
You've seen the ribbon I give out. I want to give out.
I know.
What is it? All the participants who don't actually win anything are Blood Angels, but then every other winning prize is an actual chapter.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
That's how you get John on board with participation trophies.
That's right. Everybody but a Blood Angel.
all right. Kind of show.
Let's do this. Where's my tinfoil hat?
Yeah.
Game two,
Game
Danny.
2. So game 2, I played the other Danny. I played Danny Kwan with his Raven Guard, or I mean, not his Dark Angel flyer, which is like the flyer list is one of the things that I really worry about with mine because I don't have a lot of good anti-flyer tech. I have Smite and a Hive Guard, and he goes first, or he gives me first turn, which actually no, he goes first. He because I wasn't smart with how I placed models, I should have cult ambushed in my GSC psychers. I positioned poorly. He took advantage and sniped them both out. So now I'm like down 2 out of my 3 smites, and it does a bunch of mortal wounds to the one of my Gene Stealer units flying over them. I move forward, wrap up, try point some scouts with one squad. The other weak squad just kind of takes the center. center. And then my second turn, I go for like the big Hail Mary. I drop my Aberrants. I Swarm Lord himself up, and I try to hit all of his non-flying things and try and kill him boots on the ground before he brings in his reserves. And I just couldn't do it. And then I just got shot to shit. So I lost like 30 plus to like 17 or something like that. Oof. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. You still got like 17.
I think that might be high. That might just be my pride making me remember a higher score. Like, it was pretty bad.
I'm not gonna.
I gotta sell this better. I gotta sell this better.
Yeah.
I got destroyed. Just to make me feel better.
I think I could have done better if I had positioned better and protected my characters and really kept my GSC off to where I'm like, okay, let me pick up at least a plane in one volley right between the Hive Guard and then smites, and I didn't. So I don't think I was going to do well that game anyway, because I think my list really struggles against anything that has a really high volume of fire and flies where I can't assault it, which I think is just a big.
Have both.
It's just a big weakness in general with NIDs. Like, they don't deal with flyers super well. And GSC doesn't really either, especially the GSC I was bringing. So, that was a great way to come back from lunch and just get like my shit pushed in. Like, I mean,
I just ate.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But Danny's also like really enjoyable to play, and he's a nice guy, so it's not like it was, at least he talked pretty to me during,
Stroke the hair, make you feel loved.
Exactly.
The real girlfriend experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not texting other players right now. Nah.
Exactly. Didn't gloat in team chat, right? Like,
oh wow,
he doesn't ever do that. He's nice about that.
Except against Tom.
Instead, what he does is he tells the whole team, "You lost to Grey Knights, piece of shit."
I thought you told us in the chat.
No, it was Danny Kwan.
Danny
Kwan outed Tom as losing to Grey Knights, not Tom.
Okay.
Tom outed himself in our side chat.
That was the right answer.
Yeah,
he needed to do that because we had to seriously decide about whether Tom's future on our team.
Yes,
but see, I thought my honesty is what made me safe.
No, you're never safe.
Damn it.
Safety is an illusion.
We really do need to finalize how we kick people off the team. I'm telling you.
Anyway,
by your criteria, everybody would be off the team eventually.
I clearly am not allowed to have an opinion on this. That's fine. I accept that. What I'm saying is, we're going to need to remove somebody eventually. We need to have a process in place that just doesn't include me. It's fine.
You have the decision-making process of a World War I general. Sir, that'll kill millions. Do it.
Which is why I'm saying I shouldn't be involved in that process. I'm self-aware enough to know that.
Yeah, that's fair. For how long?
Yeah.
For how long until he becomes not self-aware? A juxtaposition of every sci-fi movie.
When the AI decides to just stop thinking, like, oh, this is fucking stupid.
When it becomes Skynet and kill the whole team.
No, that's the whole point. You're going to come reverse Skynet, become unaware. That's how you
bring the team together. Anyway, Game 3, I played against Jackson and his Necrons, which was he was my first league game. And I lost because I went like super aggressive, and like Tesla is not my friend, and he just blitzed through my Gene Stealers in a turn. And then, yeah, exactly. And then what else? My Aberrants, did a bunch of damage, but just, when you lose pretty much most of your infantry the first turn after you hit and you didn't do enough damage, it was just painful. So this time I made him go first. And I deployed basically in my back corner and way out of his range. I kind of baited him in to try and do some a low percentage play against the Swarm Lord, and he went for it and used his Veil to bring his big destroyer squad forward where I could get to them. And then I blitzed out his destroyers, and I basically just hung in the middle with always the threat of, hey, I'm going to drop in with my Aberrants, And so by the time I actually brought stuff in, the Aberrants just came in on my side of the table, killed his Citan, killed his Wraiths, and I was just up on points. Like, I scored like 10 I scored like 10 primary points the first 2 turns.
So it was revenge time. That's what I'm hearing. Revenge time. Good.
Kind of. And I just, it wasn't like a win of like, yeah, get some biomass, like come get some. It was like, cool, I just have a huge points advantage, so I'm just going to milk this until the end of the game.
So you played not like Tyranids and sat around and did nothing?
Yeah, no, I played like Eldar. It was just like,
I played like Eldar. Did we feel dirty afterwards?
A little bit.
You should.
I won like 28 to like, I ended up winning like 28 to 21.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. So it was again, I just got a big point advantage early and I held on to it. And by the time he really had to start coming forward, and when he was coming forward, I could just start. My Hive Guard lived the whole game and they were just picking off stuff. Right. And making sure I got kill a unit, hold something, hold more, right? Usually kill more because he wasn't really killing anything. And I also got really lucky that he one of my Gene Stealer units survived for like 4 turns, so I was always in the middle and just causing problems, and it just took him a while to kind of bring that unit down.
Right.
Which again was a little bit of luck on my part that he just didn't get the rolls he needed. And I managed to tri-point a character like twice, even though he kept bringing it back. It was like, well, I get to tri-point him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The one time you're like, please don't resurrect, please don't resurrect, please don't. Dang it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I was like, he's like, I'm gonna pop resurrection protocols. I was like, okay. It's like, because we were fighting on top of this giant building and we were playing it there was no inside. You had to play it the way it was. So where he was, didn't have enough movement to ever get down. So I was like, okay, here we are. Let me just block you out. And I made some mistakes too, but luckily not big enough to lose me the game. So I'm still getting getting the ring rust off, as we've talked about before, of like, taking, only getting to play a couple of games a month really has taken its toll on me over the last like 2 years. So now that I'm playing a little more consistently, it's just taking me time to kind of get back into form, because I finish a game and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done that, motherfucker. But at least with my list, I lost my first 2 games with the list, tied, then lost another game, and now I've won 2 games. I won my last game in the tournament, and then I won my last league game. So that was
on a roll.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe getting back into form a little bit.
Good.
Tom, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So yeah, I ended up going 1-1-1, the perfect spread, which was still better. I've got 13th, I think, overall.
Yeah, something like that. I was there, but there were even numbers, so I didn't play. I just helped there.
Although what I can
make fun of everybody.
I was there when Horus slew the Emperor.
I was thinking of that line today.
That's still
13th.
like one of my favorite chapters ever from the Horus Heresies, that first one.
Yeah,
it's that first
amazing.
line.
Yeah, well, it's the first line. I'm saying it's in the first chapter. It's a great chapter.
It is a great chapter. It sets the whole universe really well. Like if you have never ever heard of Warhammer, you can just read that chapter and be like, "Fuck yeah!"
I've told many people who are like, "What's Warhammer?" and I want to know more about it. I'm like, you just start with this book.
Yeah.
Start with Horus Rising, and you go from there and read them all in order.
Yeah.
If you feel yourself drawn in, buy these models.
Right.
Just don't play Black Legion.
Then until we see it bad.
Or a thing called Yanaru. Don't play those.
Speaking of which,
you want new players to win.
We had 22 players total at the tournament. The winner was Ray with his Yannari.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who I don't think is in the chat anymore, but he was earlier.
Good. That's why I mention it now. But
the guy who beat Tom, Daniel Ye, he went second, I believe.
Yeah, he was there too. He came in second.
Was he running that Falchion?
He did have a Falchion. What I didn't mention, and Danny didn't mention, was that Adrian was actually there.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
For those that don't know, Adrian is a French person that used to live in SoCal.
He's French.
For a little while. He got Best Sisters Player for 2017 season without even having to attend LVO.
Yeah, and he won our local GT, the Hammer of Wrath with Sisters at the very beginning of 8th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he moved back. Him and his wife moved back about a year ago. No, yeah, about 9 months.
Yeah.
So he was in town. He was in the state for a bit for work and paid us a visit before he went back to France. So he actually played Ray. Oh no, he played Jeff at the top table. His top table. Carlos, our other foreign-born member of the team, but he's from Spain. He played against Ray in the finals with his intercessors, Blood Angel intercessors.
Is that what he's running?
That's what it was, more or less.
Who is
some
this?
other stuff, but I remember there being Blood Angel
Carlos.
intercessors.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
have lent him. I wouldn't have lent him my Primaris models if I knew he was running. I feel betrayed.
Wow.
I couldn't tell because they weren't painted. So
Well, it's okay because I think I finally nailed this paint scheme. So at the end of the day, I'm fine with that. Because a secret project, which I'll probably tell about at the end, whatever.
Sure.
My secret project I am going to monologue to you about in about 20 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah,
We should've
like
stopped
any
before
good
that.
villain, does. Okay.
True. So Danny, I know you're planning to go to the tournament, the GT we have in the end of April.
Yeah.
Are
I'm
you going to be
definitely
able to
going.
go? Are you going to be able to go to any other RTTs before that? I know we're playing in the league, which we can
Playing in
talk
the
about in a
league,
while.
which I would like to go to the April RTT at the store.
Mhm.
That especially because I'm planning on changing up my list for the GT, so I would like to be able to get some tournament reps in with it before I actually go to the GT, right, and try and not embarrass myself in the podcast too much.
Trust me, that's never been an issue.
Yeah, that's true. I'll do it anyway.
Well, considering everybody that's on this podcast and most of their records at RTTs and GTs. it's not
Excuse
gonna
me.
be so.
Excuse me.
The season's over.
New
Doesn't
season,
count anymore.
John.
Move on.
Thank
What are you talking about, John?
I'm just saying.
You have
Move
no.
on.
You
Move on.
currently have no scores for our team right
It's
now.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just as many as I
Okay,
do.
fine. Don't make me get the highest score again.
I'll go
Right,
try.
That's not going to happen because you're not going to any game.
No, it won't
any
happen
tournament.
because LVO is worth like a bajillion points.
And your Castellan crutch is probably going away anyway.
No, that's
so.
fine. I don't need it. I can win with other stuff.
Yeah.
No, to be fair,
That
John ran
remains
it more
to be
like a
seen,
Castellan
John.
cane. It was more like a Castellan cane to John. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's a crutch.
A Castellan pimp cane.
No, see, John, you ruined it. No.
Yeah. No, it's
No,
just kind
John,
of sad,
no.
John.
Whatever. I'm fine with ruining
Don't
things.
look
It's
at-
cool. It's cool.
Don't look at the easiest thing in front of you. Too late. I
It's
have
too
seen
late.
it.
Oh, now he's turned into a Castellan.
Oh God.
Jeff is saying Allen got the highest.
I know he did.
score
That's why I
for
said a stupid LVO is worth a bajillion points.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
That's why I said
didn't
that.
pay
yeah.
attention.
But I was not about to mention Alan by name. Thanks, Adam.
Well, I'm just saying what Jeff said. Jeff mentioned it.
Well, of course you did, but that was in the chat. I don't. At this point, CW I don't think the Castellan gets a nerf.
I think.
I think enough people are able to deal with it, and I think there's enough stuff coming out down the pipe that it's going to fade into
with the
obscurity on
GC
its own.
called. No, I think they're going to nerf it because that.
They didn't nerf it because of LVO.
You know what, CW that is a brilliant idea. They should make it 20 points cheaper.
Yeah.
Double it. 40 points.
40 points.
Actually, the best wish list of how to nerf the Castellan without actually making it unplayable is just make it that you can't take it in an auxiliary. Right, if you're gonna play it, you need to
have to have
actually
it in the super heavy
bring a
detachments.
knight. Yeah,
Yeah.
that way
I can see
you're
that.
able to invest in the knights.
And
right?
ironically enough, I'd also be fine with that. Since that's how I use it.
Because I think a pure knight player or a majority knight player should have access to it and have it be good because they need it when your army
Yeah.
revolves around 3 models, right? I think that's totally fair. It's just it really does suck when any Imperium army can be like, I have 630 points. What do I put in? Castellan. There we go.
Right. Then again, this is a very elegant solution, and so therefore it's not going to occur. Let's all be real. That's not going to happen. So, hey, we got a subscription. Hey, it's Tom. Hey, Darth, you subscribe too. Look at that.
I
Sweet.
forgot to switch it back from LVO where I had
Nice.
to be subscribed in order to tune in.
Yeah, we went from 0 subscriptions to 2 in a half a second. That's awesome.
Nice.
Cool.
I also was trying to get access to those sweet 40K emojis, and I can't see any of them, and now I'm sad.
Well, that's because you stopped subscribing or whatever.
Exactly. It's a trap.
So, Danny, you think so? You're going to go to the one in April, right? The GT.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. That's already.
And
I mean, it's my birthday weekend.
Tom,
so
you
I've
were
got
on,
all the pass for that.
Oh, that's good.
He's
Yeah.
on baby watch.
Tom's on a holding pattern for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been. I have like all the local tournaments I'm not going to be able to go to till like June, which is insane because I keep looking at my schedule. So I've been asking around and looking around for the different events. And there's a tournament on the 30th in San Diego at Ease. And I'm like, man, I could probably go to that because that's the day Edwin actually doesn't have baseball. But then Natalie has a thing. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. If I can get like one of the grandparents to watch the kids and I can get a ride down there, this could work.
And you're set.
And I'm set.
Or just give him $50. Tell him to watch movies all day. Just drop him off at
I can.
movie theater.
It's really not going to be hard to get a grandparent to watch them. What's going to be more difficult is getting the ride down there because Natalie needs the car for what she's doing.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see. I might be able to work it out. I really would like to play an RT before June, just because I'm still trying to get myself to the Gentleman's GT in Vegas.
Gentlemen's.
Well, it's not a GT.
I'm going there
They
to
call it
judge.
Gentleman's GT, but it's a Gentleman's Major at this point. So
Yeah, it's actually like a convention at this point.
yeah, it's a
opposed to just
con.
The Gentleman's. I don't. Have I heard this, or have I just
It's
forgotten?
been a GT in Vegas for 2 years now, and this year it's going to be a full-fledged con. It's at the Gold Coast.
Oh, I remember this. Yep.
And it's going to be a 100-player 40K tournament.
Right.
That's pretty good.
So I'll be going to judge. I think Alan said he might go. So
Alan's
that
going to
might
play.
be yeah, he's going to play. You're going to play, John.
If I go, I'm going to play. I'm not going to go judge. I judge the LVO, and that's kind of it. I don't. I mean, look, I like judging the LVO. It's cool. It's a good gig.
Right.
But
It gives you your fame status.
if I'm going to someplace, yeah, sure, whatever, Tom. If I'm going, the number of PMs I get with rules questions, I would gladly trade it. If I'm going to,
Said like a real celebrity.
it's right. If I'm going to the Gentleman's GT, I'm going to play. I don't want to. I don't want to
Yeah,
judge.
that's fine.
Like last year, I contemplated judging at the Bay Area Open, but that was just because we were testing a bunch of stuff out. Like
Right.
that we were looking at a bunch of stuff in the ITC on the download at that tournament, but ultimately I was like, no, I really would rather play. I enjoy playing the game, so I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at my schedule, and in April I can't play at our local tournament in April. May,
Yeah, see, your
can't play that one
situation is
either.
different from mine. That makes sense.
Right.
Like for me, I'm running the Los Angeles Battle for Los Angeles GT.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna judge the Vegas one.
Yeah.
I
And you can
think,
play in any local RTT you want to. Like
Yeah, if there's an odd number, I'll play in the RTT. I'm there almost every month.
Right.
I'm probably gonna go to Boise with Alan.
Okay. That's cool. That's the end
and
of
that's
June,
at
right?
Yeah, that's at the end of June. So I have a lot. I have a lot more free time than most people because my daughter's an adult.
Right.
So and she doesn't like hanging out with her parents. So
Like a normal child.
yes, she's like I'm the same way. I used to live literally like 5 long blocks from my parents, and I would never visit.
Nice.
So
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I got a lot of junk I got to do in those months on those weekends.
yeah, no, it
So.
makes sense. And then I'm helping run the one in August, the Hammer Wrath.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I won't be able to go to that one either. I'm going to be gone. I have the
you
two
get
events, the LAGT, that one I'm going to be on a plane to DC for work with my class. And then Hammer of Wrath, I'll be on a plane back from Europe because we're going there for our anniversary. So it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, where are you going?
What? We're going to Europe for our anniversary. Natalie and I.
No, I remember Europe, but where?
We
where did you get
settled
your-
on we're gonna do 5 cities. We're gonna land and do
they're gonna do Russia,
no, I wish.
China,
I wish.
North Korea.
Cambodia,
Not North Korea. I don't wish that. Or Cambodia.
North Korea.
No. I said Europe, guys. You're
And
naming
Myanmar.
places in Asia. No, we're doing London.
I'm just naming the places Americans get arrested.
Yeah, that's true.
Not
That's true. We're gonna do London, Paris, then we fly over to Venice, then to Florence, and then to Rome, and then home.
that island where that missionary got killed and they just buried him on the beach.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens when you try to convert a savage tribe that doesn't care about you or your god.
Yeah.
And clearly
you
stated,
also-
if you land here, we will attempt to kill you.
Right. Who are
This time
keenly
was-
aware that exposure to you is likely fatal to them for any amount of time.
Right.
So it's just safer to just murder you and then bury you in a few days.
Right.
This sign put up by people who they also tried to kill.
CW Dub says that Savage is a little strong.
John, the only
Fine,
problem I have
I
with
dial
your
it back. I dial it back. They're not Savage.
The
just
only
barbarian.
itinerary issue I have with is I didn't hear the word Nottingham.
No, I'm not doing that.
You wouldn't try and be like, hey, look, honey, this is the source of my mania.
No.
I already told my wife
No,
if we
we're
ever
not
go,
doing that.
that's where we're going, and she has no choice.
I would much
No,
rather go and drive and see like Bodiham Castle or one of those things than go to Nottingham to GW headquarters.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, I mean, look,
See, for
look,
me,
I love
I
the
put-
game, but I don't need to go to like the headquarters.
yes, you do, John.
I
You have
don't.
to take
Why?
it.
Why?
Rhino like everybody
You
else.
have to
Because
go
of
on
the
the
cool-
pilgrimage.
The cool dioramas, the pilgrimage. You have to kiss the feet of
Bugman's
Duncan.
beer.
I'm not a
Yeah.
Muslim. I don't go on a pilgrimage to Mecca.
I was thinking the same thing.
Thank you. See?
Great. Now we're gonna get a target. No.
We're not going to get anything. I said I'm not Muslim, so I don't go on a journey to Mecca. What do you want from me?
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I'm going to go to the Vatican. I'm Catholic. Hey, look, that works.
There you go.
Yeah.
See?
I'm going to
Actually,
go.
the Vatican's cool insofar as there's so much history involved.
Yeah, I know.
Like there's still the stir that they left the paint line for the Nazis where they painted. They're like, this is your boundary. We will respect that, kind of.
As long as you silently consent to everything we're doing. Yeah, brilliant. Good job.
yeah.
40K.
Jeff,
Hey, it's all based.
Jeff
it's-
just
it's
said that
part-
he'd
it's
never
kinda
waste
based
his
on-
time going to GW, that if he went there, he'd leave a bag of burning shit on the doorstep for their poor rule writing.
You would have the bag and ask where the designers stay. Where's their office?
You know what, Jeff? Maybe, except I do it to Forge World headquarters.
Actually, I would absolutely do it to Forge World. It would be this great movement of a bunch of men, middle-aged men, who don't want to spend another freaking inflated pound on their crappy resin, just leaving bags of shit.
Just to have terrible rules that you can't really use.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it
Hey,
went
look,
from
no one
overpowered to
has
not
more
being
room.
usable.
No one has more room to complain about Forge World than a Tyranid player, all right?
This is true. This is true.
There's almost nothing that's worth it anymore besides Myetic Explorers. And sometimes a Mountain Thrope when you just need another HQ choice and don't want to take Venom Thropes.
Speaking of Jeff,
Yes. What about Jeff?
we just started our new league.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff's running it.
It's based on and Jeff is running it because Jeff's more organized than the rest of us.
True.
He has a spreadsheet and everything. It's pretty cool.
I know. It's
I
He
know.
does.
amazing.
He does.
It's pretty legit.
It's based off the pod system that some of the other local
Mhm.
clubs and areas use.
Which I'm a big fan of, by the way. I really
the
like
idea is, in a nutshell, in this case, there's 3 pods, basically tiers 1, 2, and 3, based upon. I think he based it on ITC, or I forget how he based it. But basically, tier 1 are the better players, mid-tier players, and either new people or lower-end players to make it nice. I'm in tier 3, by the way.
I'm in tier 1, and I probably shouldn't be at this point.
I'm in tier 2, so that's maybe being generous.
But at the end of the season, depending where your placing is in that pod, if you're placed in the top 3, you move up.
Hmm.
Unless you're in tier 1, you can't go any higher. If you're on the bottom 3, you actually move down. Unless you're in tier 3, because you can't go any lower. So every season, there'll be movement. So you get better, play people at your same skill level, theoretically. And hopefully, as you get better, you move up and down, and it gives a lot of competition, especially in that first tier, in that top tier.
So what you're telling me is you
Keep the
can't
blade
game the
sharp.
system.
It depends where you want to stay. So if I want to stay in tier 3, like the army I was taking for the last couple games, because I like the models and I get wrecked. I beat Jade, but then I lose to Nick, who's one of the newer players. But he was playing Death Guard, so all that. My army wasn't equipped to deal with an army full of disgusting, resilient models.
The horror.
I mean,
as a TOW player, I have some huge ass nightmares about Death Guard.
About Death Guard, there were a lot of models with only like one wound left. It was very frustrating. Yes. So, but I know John is. I think Tommy, are you in the league?
Yeah, I'm in the league. I'm in Pod 1. I am 1-1 right now. No, 2-1 right now.
2-1. John,
I'm 0-2.
2-1.
Yeah.
0-2.
I lost to.
Wow.
No. I'm 1-1. I tied Jeff, and then I lost.
Okay.
My last game, I lost to Alan. Yeah.
I also lost.
I don't count the draw. That's why I said 0-2. It's a draw. Doesn't count. It's a loss.
Same as a
You
loss.
didn't win.
Basically.
Yeah, you didn't win. Basically.
Yeah, I
Danny,
didn't win. So whatever.
You're 1-1.
I'm
we have the
1-1 in the league too.
Nice. 1-1 at the tournament. 1-1 in life.
I'm at least 1-1 right now. I think I'm supposed to play my brother next.
Yeah.
Watching you guys play is probably one of my favorite things.
Oh, Adam and John.
Oh, it's so
Yes.
great.
Watching Adam and
me
his
and my
brother John
brother?
play are the best. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
you and your brother
You
watching
could
him
just-
play is
you-
the best.
You could just see the childhood come back, and you're like,
I'm literally that dude in the meme with the popcorn who just grabs it and settles down into his like lazy boy chair and just eats it.
Well, the problem with my brother, and he knows this, and you guys have seen it, is he's very indecisive. He
Yes.
suffers from analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
That's a thing. It's a thing in
that's
board
what
games.
it's called.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That's what it's called.
I don't have that. I have the
That's what
opposite
board gamers
problem.
call it.
I have the zero analysis. Just go.
Most of us.
So you're a world eater.
Yes, I have the berserker problem. This is why the night list did so well for me. Move forward, smash.
Yeah, he sometimes tends to overthink things.
Yeah.
And it constantly annoys me. It triggers me. Maybe because it's my brother, obviously, but because I can yell at him. I can't yell at most people.
True, you can't. Most. There are circumstances.
But with him, and you guys have seen it when we've played online, like PUBG and things like that. When I yell at him.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's so much fun. If you want to hear that, you can
yell
go
a lot.
watch some of the YouTube videos we have of us playing PUBG. It's pretty funny.
There's
my
one.
God.
There's one. I think there's one where I really lay into him.
Yes.
I forget what-
It's pretty good.
I think that's also probably why I like playing. I haven't played Apex Legends with the both of you yet, but it's probably going to be much better because unless you voluntarily drift off, we all drop at the same rate. And so part of me was like, this is perfect for them.
It is perfect. So John and Adam can't like be all the way out into bumfuck nowhere,
No,
leaving the whole team
no,
behind.
Tom, you played with us, didn't you? When that one time he was over way on the other end and didn't know where the circle was in Apex. He still does it, John.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, just
He
it's
still
just
does
in
it.
the
Okay.
movement, not deployment element.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was.
I
this
You
was
know
when they
what?
were-
Once you've landed together and you're all on the ground together, and anything goes bad after that, that is nobody's responsibility. There's nothing you can do about that.
He was like off in the boonies, and and the circle was starting to come in, and there's only like.
Where
3
am I?
teams
The
left.
weeds are too tall.
Oh my god, it was so great. We're like, John, the circle's closing in. John, where? And he's like listening to us say this, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait, what? Oh crap! I was trying to scope this guy out. We're like, damn it, John.
There's a circle in this game? Damn.
Oh my god! So
Just leave me.
So we'll, as the season progresses,
like, okay.
we'll see how the pause. It'll be interesting to see everybody move up and down the ladder, so to speak.
Hmm.
I think it's brilliant because it's able to keep the league going without too much maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how the prizes are being distributed. Jeff won't divulge that information, so I'm assuming he's just going to pocket it and just give everybody $5 or something.
Could be
That
worse.
crafty lawyer, son of a bitch.
Could be worse. He could be paying a lot of money to get his kid into college.
That'll happen later.
Yes.
He still has a few years.
He needs to accrue
now, see-
all these prizes from these leagues so he can sell them on eBay later when they're like collector's items. So he can pay the $500,000 bribe to get his kid into USC, right?
See, the best thing is that I look at the news headlines and I don't care enough to dig into them. And then I hear John making sarcastic jokes, and I'm like, oh, that's what happened.
Don't worry, Tom. I'll do your reading for you and then make jokes about it later.
It's
I
fine,
know, right?
It's fine. I'll help you write memes. You do the news reading for me.
Excellent.
Filter.
This is a good deal. I like it.
I'm happy with this
I'm
trade.
okay with this too.
Oh my god. So
And Adam's not happy, so clearly we're doing something right.
Correct.
Like,
I mean,
Adam-
we have a lot to talk
Adam hates
about.
life
So
again.
you guys do. You guys do. You do you.
We will.
We are.
So there's been a number of
Complaints?
We don't care about those, Tom.
yeah,
damn.
Tom.
At
I'll
LVO,
let
I
you
was
guys
told that their favorite parts are my rants, so I'm going to continue to do
Oh
those.
God! Of course you're.
Damn the emails we get complaining about my bellicose ways.
Your bellicosity has screwed us again, John.
No, I was told my rants are the best part, so I'm going to rant. I'm even going to make myself a tinfoil hat.
Oh my
You
god.
better put it on before you start ranting.
Oh, I,
Rant
yeah.
hat.
That way people know that I'm kidding. I still don't think they're going to know it. I think that still think some people are going to be like,
they're not gonna know it, John.
that guy's serious. What a piece of shit.
So GW has released a bunch of information this past week about the Shadow Spear.
Yes, Jeff
mentioned earlier,
Bellacore ways. That's how I'm going to refer to it from now on. It's my Bellacore ways.
But like I mentioned before, I'm splitting 2 boxes because I'm on the Chaos side.
Yep. I'm splitting one. I'm getting the Primaris side. Although now I kind of regret that.
Getting the Primaris side?
No, I kind of want the whole thing. Well, I mean, I kind of want both. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with Primaris Marines, but I am like interested in trying to do Primaris still. I know Danny keeps telling me to
Primaris
stop trying to
curious?
make Space Marines work, but I am Primaris curious. So I want to see it. But now I've seen the Abaddon model. And I'm like, oh damn. That model, I'm gonna need that model. Like just like I needed to buy a Gilliman and paint it for something, I think I'm gonna need to buy that model to paint it
Are you
too.
going to paint them in Death Guard colors?
No. You know, I painted a Gilliman the regular colors too.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, well, I sold it on eBay.
Oh.
I just wanted to, so I got 2 of them, like kind of almost for the price of one on eBay. You know, outside the box when they were super cheap at the end of 7th, and the one became
right, 'cause they
my Mortarian for when I ran Mortarian Ultramarines, and then the other one I painted blue and gold and sold it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you going to take? You should take Abaddon and paint him in Ultramarine colors.
No, if I do Abaddon, I will do him as Black Legion.
You could also do.
That way,
You
at
know,
least we
I
have
do
one
Abaddon.
Black Legion army locally that doesn't look like trash.
Well, you could also do Abaddon in the colors of the sun.
No.
All right, whatever.
I don't like the Sons of
know
Horus
you run
colors.
this whole-
I think the Sons of Horus colors they're like the only thing in the Horus Heresy that I don't like. Like I'm fine you changed your name from Luna Wolves to Sons of Horus. Why would you choose this sea foam green bullshit color? It's
I
bad.
don't know what's-
It's almost like choosing Alpha Legion. Like it's just slightly more green than Alpha Legion, whereas Alpha Legion looks good. This does not look good. I've never seen a Horus, Sons of Horus army that I like the way it's painted. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
the only one I haven't seen any in person. I remember Darian in 5th edition painted his
He had Luna Wolves.
in Luna Wolves colors. Yes.
And that army was cool. It was the gray, the slate gray, like it is on the cover of the book. Instead of white, like I think Luna Wolves are supposed to be white. Actually, if you read it, they're definitely more white than slate gray. But you know, whatever, it was fine. But definitely, like the aquamarine blue, I just don't like that on Space Marines at all. It's just not my thing.
I don't mind it. I have the colors to paint them if I do, but that was when I was going to get into 30K.
Yeah.
But then 30K stayed with 7th edition. I was like, nope. So, unfortunately, no 30K for me. So,
But they
But,
just released a Primarch.
sure.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of releases, like you're talking about the Shadow Spear. The spider thing looks cool, but the rules, I'm not impressed with the rules.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
the
but,
Lord
you know, who
Discordant
knows?
spider thing looks cool, rule wise.
Well, we haven't seen the
so
full
far.
rules. We've
No,
just
but
seen
just
some
seeing
of
with
the
some of them, yeah.
some of the rules are. No, yeah, that thing looks like a hybrid. I think I told someone like a Helldrake, Mauler Fiend smashed together.
and somehow good.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it'll be good. We'll see.
I'm
That's
hoping it
asking a
is.
lot.
I still maintain we're suffering because of the 3.5 codex.
Well, and we also know that there's a second Vigilus book coming out, and it's going to have specialist attachments. And very much like the first one, it can make you think differently about some units based on the stratagems or abilities it grants. You know,
Well, hopefully,
like Wyvern
hopefully-
shooting or Basilisk shooting twice. You're god.
hopefully they won't limit the units that qualify, because the Forge World Demon engines are actually a little bit better than the main GW Demon engines.
Yes.
Like a brass scorpion.
Are the Leviathan dreads, the Hellbrutes and stuff, are they?
No.
They're not, right? I asked you that, didn't I?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Contemptors, any of the Contemptor chassis are not demon engines.
Boo. Could you imagine
like
Leviathans
the-
and Daredeo?
Oh my god.
Demon
They already
engines?
hit on twos. They don't need
That's true.
anything
But
else.
if they could get like the 4+s and stuff.
Oh yeah. So things like the chitin, the chitin, the blood slaughterers,
Slaughters, yeah.
those things they hit on threes in close combat.
Right.
So if they get the bonus, they'll hit on twos, re-rolling ones basically.
Seems legit.
So that's why, like right now, while we're talking, I'm building my chitin demon engine. It's about half built because I half built the Lord of Skulls, and it uses the same torso. So I'm already halfway done.
So you're just reusing the
Nice.
torso?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well done.
I'll probably never use the Lord of Skulls. To be honest.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
But that's
No,
a
it
demon
literally
engine.
is the Lord of Skulls torso.
No, I noticed.
Or
yeah.
so, yeah.
It's just
No,
on
I
legs.
believe
Yeah.
it is. I literally just wanted to say that
Oh god,
because it's annoying.
you got that part right.
I'm being annoying. I'm shocked. Shocked and appalled.
Damn, man. Jesus.
So out of character.
No respect.
I know. See, that's the thing. As long as at least one of you has my back, I can be truly hurt.
We just take turns having your back.
Yeah, you do. There
We
are
do?
times.
Just to keep you
We're not
confused.
gonna lie.
Yeah, that's usually what ends up happening. No, if it's
Wait,
if
wait.
it's more
Danny's the one who
meme-oriented-
likes me. Wait.
Yeah, no. If it's more meme oriented, John pretty much always has my back. If it's more literature or intellectual, Danny's got it, and then Adam is just on his own capricious whims.
You're just lucky that whenever Danny sides with you on something literary or something like that, Adam and I just back off like, all right. If Danny agrees, we're good.
Yeah.
So we have that. We don't know the stat. I don't think we know the stats on the Discordant yet,
No.
which is what's
We only
most,
got partial spoilers.
yeah. And how many points it is.
Right.
That's always the
So-
killer. Because if it's like 300 points,
Mhm.
it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Kind of like Possessed.
If
Like, oh my
it's
God,
75
Possessed is so good
points,
now.
Well,
all right.
Here's the other big thing: is will it be under 10 points?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
That-
say no because it's GW.
Yeah. Here's this sweet ass thing. He's 10 wounds. Damn it.
Yeah, just like the Hive Tyrants.
Hive Towers are 12.
Oh, okay. Weren't they 10 in the index though?
I thought they
I
were.
think so. Yeah.
Because they were just on the
They're also,
cusp. I
like,
remember that was a big thing with
I think
Tyranid
they're only
players.
6 too still.
That
Yeah,
they
they used to be like 10. They were just like, oh, they're characters. They're just wounds, so get wrecked, nerd.
and then
A Gilliman gun line, you say?
Yeah.
so Abaddon,
Exactly.
I'm excited about Abaddon. And
The Devastators with
like
the rotary
John,
cannons look cool.
They look cool.
Abaddon.
Unfortunately, they're still Chaos Space Marines. So.
Yeah, hence bad.
Well, we'll see. Gilliman Gunline's
And,
not terrible with just Marines. It's just not as good as it was when 8th began because Gilliman took a little slight nerf with the point increase and stuff. What is it to see what Abaddon does?
Yeah,
well,
that's
Gilliman
that's the
Gunline was
other
also
thing.
good 8th because we didn't know how to play 8th yet.
That's true. But I'm also thinking that the new Marines are going to have a more Primaris stat line.
Probably.
Or like
Well,
they'll
what do you
have
mean
a
by
stat line that is better than the current CSMs. So like I think that the Black
Okay.
Legion, regular Black Legion Marines are going to have like the Primaris stat line basically. And then because if you think about it, like the rank and file troops for Thousand Sons are unique. They're not like CSMs, right? Death
Right.
Guard's the same thing. the Death Guard troops are not like the actual Death Guard Marines and stuff. They're a totally different stat line. So,
I see what you're saying.
right.
Yeah. It's like an overall update to the
Right.
line.
I don't think it's going to be like with this box. I think that when they end up doing the Black Legion Codex or whatever it is they're going to call it, Chaos Space Marine Codex or Heretic Astartes, the new Codex, I think at that point they're going to be like, yeah, it's 2 wounds. They're like Primaris or T5 or Strength 5 or something, right?
No, they're T4.
T4, Strength 4, but they're 2 wounds.
Yeah.
They're 2 wounds, a bonus attack.
That's right, the bonus attack. That's right. Right.
And I think maybe in some cases better leadership, but
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't
Black
really
Legion
matter.
already leadership 9.
Yeah.
Because they're Black Legion.
I think they'll have the more Primaris stat line, but not right away.
I can see that. I mean, I'm just hoping Abaddon has good rules and not the same rules that he currently has.
Zero Charisma says, ahem. Do you mean to say that you can release larger versions of existing models with better rules and not destroy 30 years of love and lore? Yes, I do mean that.
first off, this is the Grimdark. Love doesn't exist, man.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But lore,
There's your
yes,
first
we don't
mistake.
have to destroy the lore.
Nah, that's not true. Papa Nurgle loves you. Don't listen to them.
Actually, that is true.
He just wants to give you a hug, man, just like Typhus just want to give you a hug.
Speaking of,
All I want
That's
to
how
do
it
is
started.
all I want to do is put some of my black blood in your drink and have you drink it in turn, like me. That's it. That's all I want to do.
That's all they had. That's all they had to do back 500 years ago. We just want to hug. Here's some blankets. They're totally fine.
Yeah. Huntington giving blankets to all the people that are living in the way of his train. These are free.
Now we have a library.
Where'd they come from? A hospital. But we washed them. I promise.
yeah, it was raining. I swear. No. Speaking of Nurgle, though, as a quick note for anyone who enjoys reading the books, I highly recommend Buried Dagger, which is the last Horus Heresy book before the Siege of Terra. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it, and it is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I got to download that one.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into any kind of spoilerific details.
Spoilers.
Yep. But as the cover, as the cell tagline for the book states on Black Library, it is how the Death Guard become the Death Guard. Quite a fascinating read. I'm digging it. Also a new side of Mortarion you don't really get to see.
Is knitting.
Yeah, he's knitting.
He's knitting.
Turns out that the
His
Death Strider actually
macrame.
Macrame.
He's doing
Oh
his
my God.
macrame.
Oh yeah. So it's pretty cool.
So Abaddon, I'm looking forward to the new Abaddon. I really like the new Obliterators.
Too bad if the points that have been spoiled, or I think, well, no, they're not really.
No, they're out.
Been officially spoiled. Yeah, is that's a pretty big point increase.
You know what? Back in when they first appeared, I used to run them in squads of 2. So 2 is the same price as almost 3.
Yeah.
1 less wound, but 1 more toughness.
Yeah, that's an interesting trade-off.
It's the same number of shots, funny enough.
Yeah.
Right, because all their shots doubled.
Yeah, the only difference is the toughness and a better close combat weapon.
Yeah,
So
the
they're
close
all-
combat
they're all-
weapon.
They're almost like and they're almost like the original Obliterators in terms of the stats and the abilities.
Yeah, someone at I think it might have even been Carmona. Someone at Dice Hammer was pitching the idea of running Oblits as World Eaters. You run them in groups of 2. They just advance up the field, and when they get into close combat with aura bonuses around them, they're actually pretty nuts.
Yeah,
If
so
they can make it there, yeah.
Yeah.
that's the other.
I mean,
It's always World Eaters problems. Like you got to
Yeah.
get there first.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah. But
You know, granted they've got 2+ save, but still.
So it's a 2+5+ if you have the Cursed Earth near them with the new the
Master of Possession.
Master of Possession has Cursed Earth.
World Eaters can't
Cursed
take.
Earth. Yeah, but you could take it just in a separate attachment. I'm not even thinking World Eaters. I don't know where you're getting World Eaters from, Danny.
because I said it.
There's no other Legion but Black Legion.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Now the Legion War start
How many failed Crusades?
0.
Until you get GW retconning of like, wait, we need our main villain to not be an idiot.
Can't be retconned if it was always,
Oh no,
there.
no, those other 12 crusades all served their actual purpose. Sorry, guys.
You know,
just
Listen, Imperial
joking.
apologists.
it
Imperial
sounds like
apologists.
that Monty Python bit where he's like, I built this castle on a swamp, but it sank. So I built another one, stronger and better. It sunk. But the third castle. That's what that sounds like to me.
It does sound like that.
The problem is it wasn't retconned, so it's always been like that. Telling you, it's always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
But
yay, Abaddon.
It's a
But,
cool ass model. I don't care
It
what
is
anybody
dope.
says. It's a dope model.
Yeah, I'm getting one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna paint him World Eaters colors, but
Heresy. Oh wait, they're probably cool then.
Yes. Oh wait.
probably did it just to get him on his side.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I can imagine him putting on the different uniforms everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He's like,
No.
hey guys, I'm Karn. We should totally go this way. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man.
It's like when the band goes, "Which city are we in?"
yeah. Checks the back of their base.
We love Detroit.
Yeah.
We're in Houston.
This is Houston.
We're love Houston.
Good night, Springton. There will be no encore. But nah, he probably just does the World Eaters like uniform just so it's like when you're playing scrimmage in football and it's like, all right, don't hit the guy wearing the red jersey. Don't hit the guy wearing the red jersey.
He's the oldest one. Don't touch him. He might break.
That's good.
Yeah, so there's that. The I think you're gonna see the Master of Possessed in a lot of armies, especially with the
Yeah, those spells are pretty good.
Yeah,
It's supposed to
that
be pretty
dope
good. The
model
cursed-
too.
Cursed Earth might be the best one, especially if you have a
Yeah.
either possessed or demon engines. Like I said, I'm building the Chitin. I
Yeah,
also
Cursed
have
Earth
two
will be
Blood
good with those.
Slaughterers. I have 2 Blood Slaughterers. I think I don't know how good the Mauler Fiend, Defiler, Forge Fiend, all those all the ones in the main rule book are good because they all do everything on 4s. They
Right.
hit on
But if
they
you get
shoot.
him, you get him
Yeah,
plus one to hit
4s,
though.
they hit on 4s, +1 to hit. So now I hit on 3s. But if I have the other ones, I hit on 2s now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the Forge World ones are going to be better.
I mean, unless they change the stats, which I don't know. I don't think they will. Not for Forge
Yeah.
World.
No, I doubt it. I
Yeah,
doubt
No,
that.
they'll just change
They
the
have
keywords. in the
bigger
March-
fish to fry
March-
over there, Forge World.
Yeah, like Tom said, they'll just change the keyword so I can't use them.
It's gonna say Greater Demon Engine or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
If that comes true, I am so sorry, and it's not my.
Yeah, we're not that influential. They're not listening to this.
Yet.
Never. I'm too bellicose.
I'm not pleasant enough.
I don't make friends.
What? So what else is coming out? Then we have that coming out. We have the Village coming
Vigilus
out.
2.
Data slates. I know Tom mentioned the return of the Hellforge hunting pack or whatever it was called.
I'm calling it. One of those things is going to be called the Hell Pack, and it's going to be like just basically all the Venom crawlers that money can buy.
Well, that's what it was called in 7th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's where I got that name from. I was like, that's too close.
Yeah. That's too clever for you to come up on your own, Tom. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't care because I finally nailed this paint scheme. And I'm not even going to tell you, Adam, even though I sent you
Sure.
a picture of it earlier.
Yeah, I think you already talked to us about it, about your secret project.
Damn.
Nice.
But so hopefully they'll have something that'll really
Bellacar.
boost the armies. I don't know which armies are going to do other than Chaos. So I don't know if there'll be some because they've mentioned other armies on Vigilance,
The Dark Eldar, I could see getting something.
right? Because they need the help.
I'm not opposed to them getting it, I guess. I don't know.
But I don't know what else. What else is coming up?
You and I are in a Blood Bowl 2 league online.
Yes.
So if
there
you
is
want to
that.
watch
We
us
actually
stream
have-
Blood Bowl 2 games online on Twitch, we're going to do that at least once a week, one of us, right?
Well, it's both of us this week.
That's
because
true. We
both
were playing each other this weekend. It's a fun little game. I'm
enjoy
glad
it.
I don't have to suffer through playing it in person with people because it takes a lot longer.
It does.
Really?
Our first game. My first game only took an hour.
Yeah. Tom, you
I
didn't
think
watch
yours
the
did
game I
too,
uploaded
John.
to YouTube today?
No, I did. I
Okay.
watched 15 minutes of it, and then I was like, my lunch break's over. I'm gonna go back to work now.
That's fair. It was almost over. Yeah, the league we're in is like 2-minute turns, so it goes pretty fast, which is
Yeah,
nice.
2 or
that's
3
good.
minute, but
And the best
and-
part is there's no rules arguments because it's a computer.
yeah.
You don't have to argue about rules with
the
anybody.
hardest part is remember to click the right square.
Yes. Yeah, the decisions are key. Making good decisions in that game are very important.
I've heard they're good decisions.
Yeah, making the right ones usually pay off in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Then at Gamma is this week.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really relevant to us unless you play Kill Team
No.
Or Blackstone Fortress.
or Although Blackstone Fortress with the Trader, Ogrin, and Commissar.
That's
A lot of
pretty
people-
cool. Those are good models.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
people are
yeah.
hoping for basically a Renegades and Heretics Codex.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe they seem like they're slowly building towards that, right?
Yeah, because they mentioned with the Chaos Space Marines from Shadow Spear, they mentioned even though they're all monopose, there are hints of basically a new kit coming out for the Chaos Space Marines. So with these, people are hoping that this means that we're going to get new kits and a new codex for Trader Guard, basically. I mean, we haven't had a real codex for them since Eye of Terror campaign, which was literally 16 years ago.
Forgot.
So hopefully that'll come out soon because I've been looking at that lately to help out my chaos because there's a couple units that are pretty good. But I wouldn't mind running a Renegades army.
Once they, I mean, the reality is that they, once they have the CADs to even just one model, it's not hard for them to start building out a full range, right?
Yeah.
Just because they, you can unfortunately kind of even see it with Abaddon that it's like, it seems like it's a riff on the Gilliman CAD, right? That they use that as
Yes.
the base and just started playing around with the iconography and things like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
like.
For those of us who don't know, and I will fully admit myself, what does CAD stand for? I mean,
Computer aided design.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. They
So,
design all their
it's-
models in CAD now. They don't make sculpts, out of clay
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah, they don't have 2-ups and 3-ups out of green stuff, right? And make the mold out of that. It's just it's just all computer design, which is what lets them make the crazy ass models they do because they have one of the most advanced computer systems that can take a fully rendered model on the computer and break it down into how you would actually sprue that out, right? So that's why they get these crazy details and things like that, is because they invested in the software that actually lets them map out how to best
Mm-hmm.
print that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Essentially.
And they're passing the
So-
savings on to you.
No.
No, I just wanted to say that. I know they're not.
not so much.
There's no such thing as savings.
Well,
in
yes,
Games
but
Workshop.
actually, no.
Damn it. You're gonna kill that goddamn meme, aren't you? You're gonna kill it.
I just think it's hysterical. I don't know why. Maybe because there are many times at my work where I feel like basically my work is saying that, well, yes, but actually, no, you will have to come in this week.
You're right.
It's like, we know your child was just born, but actually, no. You need to.
Yeah. Ugh.
Hold on one second. Yeah, so other than that, the stuff from Gamma that got I know Danny might be interested in that new what's that thing? That new war cry,
Oh, yeah.
which looks like Necromunda for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, no, I'm about it. I love skirmish games, and
It
I
looks
love
actually
Age
looks
of
really
Sigmar. So
interesting. I wouldn't mind getting into that because it's only going to be like a few models.
yeah, exactly. So I will definitely buy it and give it a good chance. But I love skirmish games. So
Okay. One last thing. I think of it, nobody has anything else about the new releases coming out.
no.
Nope. Nope.
One thing I wanted to talk about today was because three of us judge, one of us hopes to. I'm assuming.
I don't know why. I'm sure.
Just so I can say I did it. Vaughn.
Yes.
Fair enough.
But for those that haven't had the experience of being a judge or TO, like this weekend, I did have to answer a few questions. Nothing too insane or intense like at LVO. It's still just an RTT. But one of the things that happens, especially at the larger ones, we get a lot of questions about a lot of things. It's not, and we don't cover. We try to cover as much as we can when we answer questions. Unfortunately, we cannot get to everybody before the tournament starts. And sometimes the answers we may give may not seem right, or may be different from what GW had said or does say, like the next day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what tournament, sometimes that afternoon, especially if they're there.
Right,
Mhm.
it's true. That's true.
But
Walk over and ask them.
But I think there's a certain I don't know how to describe it. No, it's almost like an certain attitude, or you have to be comfortable with not. I don't even know how to put it.
Not being someone's friend.
No, it's not even that. Sort of. It's almost like game time. Like your friends outside of the whatever, but if you face them across the tabletop, let's say you're on game 6 and you're both 5-0.
Yeah.
You're not going to be. It won't be a friendly game because, as we all know, friendly games really aren't friendly.
So that's just like me and Danny Quan anytime we play a game, basically.
Yeah, but I think if you're going to become a judge or TO, I think you need the thick skin, being thick skin enough to not let your decisions affect you, essentially.
Yeah, if you make a wrong decision, you make a wrong decision. You have to move on. Like,
I don't want to say wrong.
Well, whatever.
But
it doesn't matter. Say right or wrong. It doesn't matter either way. Like if you make a decision and it turns out to not be the correct one, then whatever.
You
it happens.
You need to have the confidence to make a decision.
Right. You can't have and haw about things for 45 minutes.
And you have to have the confidence to be okay with that decision and the consequences of that decision.
Right. Yeah.
And try not to, like John just said, ham and haw about, should have done this or should have done that. I don't know how, John, how do you approach that mindset anyway?
I mean, I think it's kind of one of those things that you either have or you don't, or you either cultivate it over time or you haven't. I think, I don't know, it's literally a case of like, you're comfortable saying something and making a decision in the moment because somebody asked you to, and then being okay with if they come back to you later and be like, hey, I think you were actually wrong because of this, just being like, okay, but you needed my help and you asked for it.
Right.
And that's kind of that. There's also the case of like, you made the most logical decision you could, and you have to be okay with that too. Like you have to have confidence in like your grasp of the rules and your grasp of logic and your grasp of what makes sense in the realm of the way the rules work and the interactions and the different precedents. But then you also have to be understanding of the fact that like sometimes FAQs go totally against that. So you have to keep that in mind too. Like you just have to be able to think on your feet. If you can't think on your feet about stuff, then it's not going to work.
Yeah. I feel like just from an outside looking in kind of perspective, I think you also have a good idea of like sequencing and like order of operations.
Yes, for sure.
Because I've seen so many people argue that rules work a certain way when it's like, well, no, because you have to go from point A to point B. There's not a Z between A and B, so you can't do that. And it sounds silly when you put it that way. Like, yeah, I mean, you'll get a chuckle that way, but like at the end of the day, like, people make that mistake all the time. I feel like, when they're just like, oh, but what about this? It's like, well, that doesn't apply now because of this, or it doesn't apply in that order.
Right. It's true.
So
Yeah, what happens a lot, and I've done this, and is that a lot of people will read a rule, especially if it's new, and only read half of it, the good half,
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
not read the rest of it,
Yeah,
which
that
is
happens.
usually the bad half or the
Mhm.
limitations.
The half that doesn't work for them.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
during
so,
tax season, you may get a refund. Sweet.
where's my
I'm not going to
refund?
read anything else about how to do taxes.
Sounds like this hits a little closer to home for you.
Nah, dude. Been using TurboTax. Shit came out right as I had to start worrying about that. I was like, sign me up.
Oh yeah, we used that too. No way am I sitting down doing it by myself.
I feel like I could at this point, but I choose not to.
Oh, I
No.
could. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's easier not to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, Danny, your thoughts?
I mean,
More
I think-
about how you yourself are able to attain that state, I guess, of course. Is what I'm saying.
I think it's just going in with the understanding of when you're a judge, when they ask for you, you've entered into a deal, right? You've created a contract of you can't figure out how to make the game run right now, so you're asking me to make the game work at the moment, and you do the best you can with what you know and what you can do, and you make your decision, and that's just the way it is. And if they don't like your decision, or the decision ends up being wrong, then that's just the way it goes. There's no malicious intent. But it's, if it really was like, oh my god, like, this is so critical, why would you call me over then, right? If you really felt you knew the answer was the right answer, right? And you couldn't convince your opponent to your logic, like, then clearly it isn't working the way that you think it should work, and you just have to accept, like, in that moment, that is what it is. And, I mean, I think it helps that I think the first time you judge, especially like a big event, and you make a mistake, it's just, if you remember, like, yeah, it sucks. You made a call that probably wasn't the best, or you rushed your research, or you jumped to a conclusion, didn't really think about it. That sucks, but you learn from that, and then it gets any worse than that, right? Like, it sucks, but it is what it is. And a lot of it is just, having the kind of courage of your convictions of, I came to this decision and I'm comfortable with that, right? I accept whatever's going to happen as a result of that. But I made this decision, and I made it in a logic, and the best way I knew how to. And yeah, having a thick skin is kind of essential. I mean, I think that's something that a lot of people who want to be judges don't get, is that you are going, even if it's among your friends or people you are going to get, you are at some point going to get shit on for what you for just saying something, right? Like,
Yes.
It's just what it is, right? And it doesn't mean people hate your guts. People get hot under the collar, they get tilted, whatever, right? But like, if you're going in with the mentality of, I need to be everybody's friend and everyone needs to like me, and, I'm going to be the best judge, like, you're going to be a shitty judge. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is I should totally apply, because I'm not that kind of person IRL.
Exactly.
Oh, sweet.
I think you'll be fine. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's, I when I see people judging where I'm like, what the hell, when you can see them kind of like, almost getting bullied into making decisions, or like really worried about, like, upsetting someone. It's like, that's, sorry, but that's your job. You're the judge. If someone isn't upset at you by the end of a major event, right? Like, where there's a bunch of people you don't know from metas you're not familiar with, you probably didn't do the best job. Right? Like, you probably yielded when you didn't need to yield.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. And like, that's why I think people think judging is super fun and awesome until they actually do it in a really big scale, and they have people getting on their case, or people making snide ass comments, or people, like, cussing you out on rare occasion, right? Where you just kind of have to grow a thick skin and be like, oh, okay. And that involves yourself, right? Like, I've made bad calls, and I've, part of it is learning to grow thick skin to yourself of like, well, okay, I made a bad call, moving on, right? Live and learn, right? Like, okay, it is what it is. But if you're beating yourself up like, oh my God, and, having to constantly, full of self-doubt, it's just not going to work. It's not going to be enjoyable. So you just kind of got to remember, your job is to make somebody's day not go well, right? Like you make a call, somebody is going to be upset about it, and that's just what it is, right? Whether you're right or wrong, you're not walking away from that table with both parties being like, oh, that was I was like, that was such a great experience. I'm glad we called the judge over.
That was an equitable decision.
Yeah. Most of the time, both players, and the thing is, most judge calls are, hey, we don't understand how this works. Can you explain it? Which is easy, and no one's going to be mad at you, right? Yeah. It's when two players both believe they're right and there is an impact on the game state. One of them is going to be pissed at you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, or you have to enforce rules. Like that happened to LBO to a player that I know, that I talk to, that I'm friendly with, right? But like I called out hard dice down, and 3 minutes later they're still playing, and I go up to him, I'm like, I said hard dice down, stop now or it's a yellow, right? And he's just like, come on, you said I got extra time. I'm like, you had extra time. We're done, right? I gave you 3 more minutes, right? Like we're done. And like that happens. Mm-hmm. Right. And that their tone was not like super polite, right? Their tone was not friendly, but it's just the way it is. Like I had to enforce the rules.
I just can't believe, what is it? No, I was going to make a joke about John being that person, but he judged there too, so it doesn't make sense.
Full stop. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Danny, do you think that it's something you can learn or something that you're just innate in your personality? Or for you yourself, is this an attitude you learned? I know you're a teacher, both of you and John. And the same question.
Teaching helps.
Is it something you think you learned over the course of your career or your life experience, or is it something you think you innately in your personality or your DNA?
No, I'm a firm believer that everybody can learn to do something, right? Whether you're a master of it or not, I think is a little more innate. Right. I don't think you can master something unless you have some kind of innate enjoyment of it. So I think I have the disposition to be a judge to begin with, because I'm relatively fair-minded, relatively open-minded, and, like to think things through. And I enjoy that. I'm also kind
of take bribes easily.
Yeah. That. But, I'm also like, when I make a decision, I really kind of don't care what other people think, right? Because I'm like, I made this decision, I'm doing it, and so I have that kind of thick skin. But work, like my career as a teacher, definitely made that only more so, and gave me far more practice at it. Mm-hmm.
John?
So I think it's both. Sorry. But I think anybody can learn to be a good judge. Whether you can be like the best judge ever, that's probably more your temperament. But anyone can learn to be a workable, good judge.
Yeah, I suppose so.
They just be cracker.
John, you agree?
I mean, I guess. I suppose I don't know. I tend to think there's more that has to
for
go
you
into
for
it
you
than...
yourself. What do you think? It's more something you learn, or just something you have to start with at the very least?
I think it depends. Like, this is probably a little bit of both. I think that definitely, like Danny was saying, like being a teacher and being in education, especially like I have to deal with people's parents. It's different. You're there's more to deal with, and you have to deal with people who are like upset or feel like they have a lot going, like writing on things and like stuff like that. So it definitely changes things. I definitely think I'm better suited now to being a judge than I would have been when I first like started, but I think like age and experience comes with it. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why a lot of the NFL refs aren't young. They're not young people. They're all older, including the college refs too. Like you need the experience. You need to have seen stuff. You need to have like the strength of your convictions that comes with age to a certain extent and experience. But I think, I guess it can be learned to a certain extent. But some people, I think, just aren't going to have the personality for it, and that's just the way it is. But also, I think the people without the personality for it aren't going to try to do it. It's not going to appeal to them,
Yeah, they might try it and then just give up after the first or second experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that about the NFL judges, because I don't know if they've changed it, but in FIFA, once you hit 35, you're not eligible to ref for them anymore.
Yeah, but I think that's because like they don't want you to like fall behind. They want you to be able to keep up because you're running all the time. Like the NFL judges don't have to do that. Like the NFL refs,
they train. I know they train.
They do train, yes, but they're not like.
but they're not running up and down the field.
No, not constantly.
This is American football, good sir.
Yeah, so they just stay in one place and be lazy. That's basically embodies the American.
Damn right.
And you also have to remember, like, if you look at refs like 15 years ago, before the era of, Ed Hockley, they weren't all like, training and in shape
That's
to do
true
it.
too. That's a good point also, yeah.
Yeah, Ed Hockley really changed the dynamic of refs.
Yeah, he did.
Bringing out the gun show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer this call after I'm done with this drumstick. One moment.
For myself, I think from at least my personal experience coming to do the TO and stuff like that, I think having refed before doing the judging, because back when I ran tournaments in third, fourth, and a little bit of fifth, I don't recall having to make too many quote unquote judge calls as opposed to just making sure the event ran smoothly.
Yeah.
I don't know, John, you had more experience with in fifth than I did, and just in terms of playing up there more.
I don't remember ever calling for judges much in fifth.
Well, that's because we had the iPad.
I mean, I did at one point because it was a really terrible game. I called for the judge before the game even began.
Yeah,
but that was a special case. Yeah, I don't remember ever really calling for judges much in fifth. I went to War Games Con, all the original Bay Area Opens. Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't think. I don't remember it being as much of a thing. But then again, yeah, we had INAT. I think things were tighter, I felt like, in 5th edition anyways, in general, so that might be part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, having done the soccer thing before doing because I was never a teacher or anything like that. I did
You were a soccer judge, Adam?
No, I was a soccer referee. There's a difference.
I'm joking. I'm teasing you.
Because nobody's ever heard that before.
Yeah, and the derailed train is still going. So because I think that experience helped me in terms of getting the attitude of being okay with whatever decision I made, especially because soccer is a there's no stopping.
Right.
So there's no time to really think about the decision that
you just got to do it
until after. But there's plenty of people that'll tell you that you're wrong. That's never been an issue.
Well,
and they're all parents.
There's plenty of people in every walk of life that are going to tell you you're wrong.
As they get older, they become more players than parents. But because the
kids are like, I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, because the parents start to sit farther and farther away from the field as you go up the ranks in terms of their age.
Yeah.
But I think
hear that call, I'd argue with it.
And so I think that helped me in terms of my confidence. So when I was already had to do judging for something like the LVO, I already had the confidence to be okay with my decisions, right or wrong, and to be okay with the results of those decisions. Which includes name calling and things like that. This is the first year, like I mentioned before, that I wasn't called a name, and I'm kind of bummed about it. But,
that just means that you're an elder statesman now.
But I think that
I think it's because you wanted to use the yellow card.
I think that have more to do with the yellow cards than anything else.
Oh, you're talking about at LVO, not AYSO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was definitely the better behavior on the part of the people towards us is definitely a result of the code of conduct.
So
easily.
But I agree in that. I think in order to become a judge or to become a TO, you're putting yourself out there to be criticized, and you have to be okay with that. And you can't be the type that gets offended or upset very easily because of it, because that just causes a negative experience for the players. They stop coming to the event and start talking about how much you suck as a judge or as a TO. And then pretty soon you won't have any events to run because nobody's coming or going to your events.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that might be the most important. I know each of us has been told we were wrong at one point or another, either face-to-face or online.
Or whatever. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm not even a judge.
But that's just us telling you in the team chat all the time.
Yeah.
In every chat, in person.
Oh,
On
what is it?
Facebook.
It's like that. It's like that comic where it's like the boss yells at the dad yells at the wife yells at the kids, the kid yells at the tough bear, and then the stuffed bear is just sitting there.
Yes. Yeah, that's the
I'm
one.
the stuffed bear.
So I think something like having something like that, or being able, if you're willing or want to do that, because I know because of the success of 8th edition, we're seeing a lot more tournaments and a lot more people running tournaments.
A lot more tournaments, yeah.
Then I think that's something to consider if you are going to help run a tournament, because if you can't take criticism, or if you're not okay with being told that you're wrong or you did something wrong,
Yeah,
then it's not going to be perfect.
it's true.
So
I still see no reason why I shouldn't pursue this. No warning signs. Just I'm
no,
good at this,
yeah,
guys.
you'd be a good judge because you like the abuse. So
Yeah, exactly.
you make
Yeah,
it.
I
You're
am like
that guy
I am
cussed
like
me
that.
out. He must be my friend now.
Yes.
Oh, gee, fellers.
So I just think
like
it's
the
something,
episode where Butters keeps going to the Hooters over and over. They don't call it Hooters though. What do they call it?
It's raisins.
Raisins.
Oh
right.
yeah, it's raisins.
Raisins.
Because it's run by kids.
Yes, right. The worst. Oh my god, that show. I don't know how it gets away with all that crap.
Oh my god. It's so great.
I think. Any other thoughts about that? About being a judge in terms of your decisions?
No.
John is excellent at it, by the way, because he's able to keep a straight face.
Oh yeah, for
When-
sure.
when-
Yeah.
I've seen people come up to John and tell him how wrong he is, or how they keep on arguing. My favorite story is the one where you're not even a judge. It's that game. It's the game where you got your moniker.
Oh,
of
yes.
Salty John
Yes.
at BAO,
Mm-hmm.
where he kept on talking and you just kept on putting your army away
Yes.
after the game.
A straight face, just yep, okay, all right, and then I come downstairs and unload on you guys at the table. You don't believe this, motherfucker? This son of a bitch. Yeah.
Danny,
Well, it happens at LVO sometimes too, where like somebody come up to me like, yeah, this, and this, and I'm like, okay. I turn around and walk off, and then I had somebody else this year come up to me at LVO after I did that. Somebody came up to me and was like upset, and I just went, okay. And I turned around and walked off. And later on, the guy comes up to me and he's like, dude, that guy was like crestfallen. When you just said okay and turned around and walk away, like I think he thought you were going to apologize or like at least argue with him or something. Like that was not the reaction you expected. And I was like, man, I can't stand around and talk to this guy. I got stuff I got to get done.
I got shit to do today.
That's probably the best. That's probably the best response
Right.
when someone does that, because usually when people are doing that, they are looking for
A
They're
confrontation
looking for engagement.
or an apology or whatever. Yeah.
they're looking for some validation of their argument.
Mhm.
And even if they go to another judge and get that validation from them, it's not the same as getting that validation from the judge that made it.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
they
it-
want you to either go ballistic on them, so they'll be like, yeah, see, I told you it was an asshole, or be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I made a bad call.
Right.
But when you just don't even choose to engage, they get nothing.
Right.
They're just left with what it was.
So is there any way that we could just call this game right now? Sure, you can concede. You know?
That was the other one.
Yeah.
That's so good. But Danny, sometimes I can see the smoldering behind the eyes.
Yeah, the anger,
The Angron.
Yeah.
a little hard to turn off.
Yeah.
The nails are hard to
Yeah,
ignore.
exactly.
No, I'm pretty blank faced.
Yeah.
John is pretty blank faced. Danny, I don't know. For me,
No, you just get more curt. That's
Yes.
what it is. You don't really like.
that's about right.
Mhm.
Your facial expression doesn't change. You're just, instead of being like, well, or talking, you're just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, you just become more curt as time goes on.
Okay, good with that. I'm good with Kurt.
Yeah, I'm fine if people can tell that like I'm suppressing rage because that usually gets them to like back down.
Probably for the better. Yes. Like a warning signal. Yeah. So if you think you can do it, and you're like, oh, I have thick skin, then give it a try. But I guess.
But it's not just thick skin. You also have to. It's not just the thick skin of like, oh, I don't care. You also still have to balance that with being fair. This is what I think is true, but let me double check. Right? Like let me walk through the process real quick, rather than just like, well, of course I know what I'm talking about. I'm right.
Yeah, you can't be an arrogant prick about it.
Yeah, your first instinct when you're judging should be
thumbs out.
Yeah,
I was taking a stab at John there. I was trying to say
I am not an arrogant prick about things. It just happened. I just happen to be right a lot of the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, your first instinct as a judge when you get asked a question shouldn't be, I know this answer. It should be, I think I know what this answer is, but let me just quickly verify.
Yep, that's like practically my line verbatim.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. And if they want a second opinion, that's fine. It doesn't mean you're wrong. They just want to be sure or whatever, and I don't care. I'll get somebody else. But as a tip to players, don't lead into it by saying you'll take the yellow.
Go get another judge.
To go get another judge.
Because you're not going to get a yellow just for asking for another judge.
That's not how the code of conduct works. It doesn't. I don't think there's anything that says that you get a yellow for asking for another judge.
Right, I don't think so either.
But if you're seemingly disrespectful or in getting the other judge, then yeah, you'll get the yellow.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to get the yellow if you ask for another.
No, I guess it's not a big deal.
Or I should say you shouldn't.
No. Yeah. It depends on your demeanor.
It depends how you're doing. Yeah.
And
there's honestly nothing, especially it's again one of those things of if it's a make or break decision, the outcome of the game likely hinges on that moment. It's totally your right and fair to you if you get a call to be like, can I get that can I get a second opinion, right? Like, can I get this verified?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fine, and I completely understand that. If it's like, oh yeah, if you make this charge, you win, but I don't think you can. It's I totally get if you're like, can I get another judge on this one for some oversight? That's totally fine, right? But if you're like, that's a stupid rule. You give me another judge. Give me someone who knows what they're talking about. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna yellow card your ass real quick.
That's true. Yes. All right, we're at the 2-hour mark. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Is any? I don't know if there's any other questions in the comments. I thought there was one that wanted to ask you a question.
It was a Gene Stealer cult thing, and they kind of worked it out in the chat themselves.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, they went back and forth over there. I told them I was straight up like, I don't know a whole lot about the Gene Stealer cult stuff because I have not bothered to like really look into it yet.
Was it about the first turn charge? Because I know Adepticon made a ruling.
Yes, that's what it was.
They can't.
Right.
And Adepticon, just like with LVO, Adepticon is kind of in touch with GW.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that's what GW's thoughts are.
I'm not assuming anything because I've seen what Adepticon's terrain looks like.
Okay. We're not talking about terrain. We're talking about rules.
Oh, whatever, man. Quality of the event.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in terms of rules. Now, if we're talking terrain,
if you're playing on Planet Bowling Ball every year, I don't think you have the greatest grasp of what's supposed to be going into the game. Sorry.
But, so hopefully they'll have a clarification for that in the March FAQ.
Right.
Which is what we're hoping will happen by the time this episode. We record our next episode.
Elderict says, I have a question. Did the playtesters sleep on the job, or did GW just YOLO when they didn't put a wound limit on mental onslaught?
Funny story about that. So everyone, those that don't know, GW, when they put the FAQ, they actually released 2 FAQs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, John.
Yeah, I saw the 2 versions.
The first FAQ actually had a limit of 6 wounds for onslaught.
Right.
The replacement does not.
Yeah.
Nope, it does not. Swarmy, it might be against him. Swarmy lost like 10 wounds to psychic onslaught.
Sick.
Yeah.
What I'll tell you this much for those that don't know, and I try to explain this every time. GW does have play testers. We know who most of the play testers are. Some of them like to tell people they're play testers all the time.
True.
Mhm.
True.
But just like with any playtest group, because I've been in a playtest group before, not for Games Workshop, but for other games that either never got published or are long and dead.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have to listen to their playtesters.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
There's no obligation to listen to what they tell
just
us.
because you're a playtester doesn't mean GW is going to you.
No, not at all.
And just because you help answer their FAQ sometime for Forge World
Doesn't mean they're going to do that either.
doesn't mean they're going to listen to you either.
Or even like an
Oh,
eighth
we
of
know
what
that from
you put
personal
in there. Yeah.
We know that from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I don't know if the playtesters were sleeping or GW just didn't care or they think it's fine. But like I said, we saw two versions of the FAQ for Gene Steer Cult. One had a limit of 6 wounds. The current one has no limit. So you can take it, you can infer what you want from that. But that's where that at. So any other questions from the chat besides
No,
FAQs
that's it.
or lack thereof? John, any final thoughts?
No, I think we covered a lot of stuff this episode.
Anything coming up for you?
No, I'm just
Not
going to
just-
try to finish my Porphyrion, put some paint on the Death Guard, figure out if I'm going to do Primaris. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm stocking up on Primaris. I have a crap load of Primaris models. Danny, anything for you?
Just, playing my Tyranids. I just finished touching up my Turvagon, so it looks a little bit better since I think my new list is going to try using the Big Mama. And then, I'm just really probably going to focus almost entirely on Tyranids GSC until, for the year, unless we get Angron or something that would make me switch, but that's about it.
Yeah, obviously. If you get your big guy, right?
Yeah, if I get Angron, then it's like my World Eaters come right the fuck back out. But until then, I'll at some point go back to converting over the sisters and building the sisters army. But right now, I'm enjoying kind of diving deep back into Tyranids and getting kind of, getting new lists built and stuff like that, and making my whatever my tournament list is end up finalized going to be, making sure it looks as pretty as I can. Try and get that hobby track.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Tom left us,
Yes, he did.
so he doesn't. Well, I probably wouldn't have asked him anyway.
He's working on his secret project, which we'll put on the page or whatever.
Well, his secret project that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
or his wife just went into labor.
One of the two. Who knows?
For myself, I think I'm just picking up the 2 box sets this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna put all that shit together this weekend and have it ready for my next league game.
Just because.
Just because, not because I want to win. I think I have a couple interviews set up. We're trying to line up for the show. We still getting ready for those that don't know, we are doing Battle for Los Angeles GT at Kubla now.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles and Burbank. Just look up Battle for Los Angeles GT. We have a link, or go to our website at TFG Radio.
Mm-hmm.
We have a link for it if you're interested.
Or the Facebook page.
I think we're at about 28 or 29 players, so we are GT.
Sick.
As long as everybody shows up. But the more we get, the more at ease I will be. That we'll have that it will be a GT.
Yeah.
We'll get a GT. Don't worry about that.
I'm doing
I
very
just,
simple. I'm doing very simple price support. I think we're just giving out cash.
Woo, the best.
That's solid. That's the best price support ever, man.
I mean, it'll probably be on a Visa gift card or something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be cash.
No, but I've said people should be doing that for years.
But I think, after because we have to build up the terrain and things like that. After
Mhm.
that, whatever's left over, we'll do for price support. And then there's Hammer Wrath later on in the year in August. We hope to have that as a major.
Yep.
We always come close, but we just miss the mark usually, and we're not willing to make up names. So
Yeah, we're not really to just add random people. Hey, you know this guy's email address, right? Yeah, just throw him in there. Hey, I wasn't at this GT. What is this?
So, and we might even do a team tournament, a 2-day team tournament, even towards the end of the year.
That'd be great.
But
I'm making skeptical fry face.
why? I'm the one running it. So.
Oh, okay. In that case, it will probably happen.
It's happened like the last couple of years. I've been running. It's the same tournament we always run, but
but 2 days
extended to 2 days.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't like the team tournaments. I just don't like the format.
Nobody says you have to be in it.
I'm not saying I'm going to. You know, just for that, I'm not going to play in it. Okay, just for that, I'm not going.
I forgot. It's the internet. Unwanted opinions
I'm not going.
are a thing. Oh, I'm so heartbroken because you're not going.
You
John.
should be.
You're not going to any event this year anyway.
Not until like July or something. At least not the ones at our store.
For me, like I said, I'm gonna help judge the gentlemen's and ladies GT in Vegas. I believe I might be going to Boise Cup with Alan. I think Alan said if I fly there, he'll drive me back. So I'll spend 15 hours in a car with Alan.
Oh God.
So one of us will make it back probably. Not too sure it'll be me.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Make sure he doesn't leave early.
Seriously, right? Yeah.
And then and that's at the end of June, Boise Cup. Going to BAO in May. Going to SoCal, as far as I know.
Yep.
But that's towards the end of the year, so we'll see what it looks like then. Unfortunately, I'm not going to Nova. I'm going to actually try to go to Adepticon next year. Just to go. I don't know if I'll play in the champs or not. But I just want to go at least once, see what it's like. The whole hubbub's about. But that's not till next year, so
right. You got that.
That's the long-term plan. But other than that, I think that's it. And the only other thing I wanted to mention, which I didn't before, was we didn't even talk about the Space Marine part of the chat.
Oh yeah, whatever. It's fine. Oh, because that's been out for so long. I don't like to rehash everything everybody else on all the other podcasts.
Well, I just thought it was funny that the only thing I'll say about it is they have that one guy with all the knives, and every equipment possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of reminds me when I used to play airsoft,
who would have all the kit.
Yeah, you'd have these guys that would be all military, and they'd have every conceivable thing you can wear,
and they would suck.
That the military are supposed to wear. And when I asked Danny Kwan, who and a couple other vets who have been in Afghanistan and Iraq, they're like, we never wore all that stuff because they would have radios that would work. It was a whole thing. It was funny. That's what that picture reminds me of. It's like that wannabe military guy.
Right.
He was about 50 pounds overweight, but in full gear. Just that model. But anyway,
sounds about right.
But I think that's it for tonight.
Yep.
Nest Jacks, people signed up. I'm assuming you mean for Battle for LA. I believe we have 28 right now, maybe 29. I'm going to check with the guy tomorrow.
Pump it up to 50.
I put a max at 40, but
okay.
I don't think there's a size. I don't think there's a limit.
That you can just grow it as big as.
As
many as tables as you can get.
They're okay. We're not. Yeah. As many tables as we want. I think there's a limit, but I don't. I haven't reached. I know I haven't reached it.
Right. Yeah.
I put down 40 players, and that would be 20 tables, and I think he's okay with that.
Cool.
If we go past 40,
mm-hmm.
Then we'll see what.
Where
we go
for sure.
And I'll have to. If we get that many, then I'll have to see if there's an actual max. But just hoping to get at least 30, like the mid 30s, to cover anybody that actually doesn't show up.
Right.
So I'm hoping. But if there's nothing else, John and Danny.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Nope.
Well, then thanks everybody for listening.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys again. And good night.
Thanks
and have a
for the
pleasant tomorrow.
chat for being so active.
Yep.
Yeah.
Laters.
Later.